And I do believe that we are live. Buenas noches, gente. This is, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en Vivo. With me, as always, is my co host, the redoubtable Luisa. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing great. Don't know what to expect out of this team facing our boys tonight, though.
Oh, go on.
Uh, I heard from you that they are not great. Don't know much else about them. And I can see from the stats, from the matchups, they are not outperforming the Naves in numbers in any position.
That is correct. The Valencianos, I can officially inform you by ELO rating, whatever you want to call it, which,
Electric Light Orchestra rating.
thank you. Yes, developed by Jeff Lynne to measure the relative strength of his chess opponents, obviously.
Oh my god, who would win a Mr. Blue Sky award in the LNP? What kind of award could that be for?
I was about to ask, what does that even mean?
It's a good question.
Because I already had an ELO pun locked and loaded, but then you
Oh,
got there ahead of me, so I was going to say that surprisingly, the Valencianos are actually, let's see, there are ninth worst in the league by LO format. So
oof.
basically, so that presumably means that over the last few seasons, they have had some unexpected victories against tough opponents. That's
Mhm.
usually what that means. Um, because by record, they are the second worst team in the league this year. They are
Wow.
31 and 58.
Ugh.
Not a good team. In fact, if I remember correctly, and longtime listeners will know that I have access to a lot of this data, and I'm going to go check this, but I do believe the Valencianos currently hold the record for the worst season of all time.
Wow. What, like within this century?
No, actually, that's a good point. Within the 19th century, so in the history of the
Okay.
LMP.
Mm.
And the answer is that they are tied. The
Interesting.
in 1890 and in 18 actually wait, hang on a second because I don't remember how many. Well, okay. So, the actual worst season of all time belongs to the 1894 Romeros de Hormigueros. Always hard to remember that name rhymes and it always throws me. Because they won 15 games out of 138.
15 out of 100. Wow.
Don't worry. We will one day write the article on this. We've been putting together resources and researching because it is magical.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the right word. It is fascinating.
You talk about wins above replacement. I kind of feel like with a record like 15 versus, what did you say, 138?
Hmm.
You could maybe just hold a lottery and get people out of the crowd to play better than that in any given game, perhaps.
Congratulations! I'm pretty sure you've just invented another. This is yet another time that you have invented a thing that Bill Veck actually did.
Oh, I'm very good at baseball
Yes,
thinking.
as was Bill Veck. The other thing, by the way, so this is where the tie comes in. The Valencianos also had a season where they only won 15 games, but there were 126 total games. So 15 wins is a higher percentage there. Their winning percentage was 0.119. They won 11.9% of their games, whereas the Romeros won 10.9% of their games.
Aha.
Gross
Wow.
in both cases.
Hmm.
And in terms of the current season, the Valencianos literally just suffered a 10-2 loss to these very same Navegadores that are playing them today. So we're kind of hoping, says, I'm going to say this is heckloretical, and hello, by the way. That's one of my favorite Bill Vex stories. It's so good. Although I think he had people managing the team from the stands rather than playing for it. Fans could vote with cards that they had at their seats,
Interesting. Okay.
which let's be honest, there are times when given the teams that he was usually managing, I think the fans might have been just as good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was managing murderers rows and things like that. Says
Yeah, makes sense.
Radical, if I recall correctly, Connie Mack was in on it. Of course he was. If it happened in baseball in like the first like 80 years of its history, Connie Mack was somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yep. That's good to know too, because he was famously kind of a dour man at the end of his career there. So good to know he had it in him to be funny now and again. Anyway, so what we're hoping is if you've watched Navegadores games, you know that they've played some really tough opponents. You know that they've gone up against. I mean, last week's game was we had no idea what was going to happen the entire time, basically. And then they played the Valencianos, and they beat the tar out of them
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. So we're hoping that if you're a Navegadores fan, that this is going to be a tune-up game. That you're going to get to watch the Navegadores just romp over these guys, because we really haven't gotten to see that um, in a long time at this point, partly because of how long we've been on hiatus and so on.
Yeah. They didn't do so good last week when we saw them come back.
That is true. Now, I will say it's not as if the Navegadores don't have some danger here. There is the famous Vernon Derrick from Oshawa in Canada. Oshawa now actually has its own team. It has the Engines in
Oh,
Canadian Independent Baseball, which is within the League of the Great Lakes. They play in the League of the Great Lakes and they get all stars elected and things like that, but they don't actually make the playoffs, which is very interesting because they're not a separate Great Lake League.
okay.
So they kind of decided. I guess they're administered by the same commissioner. It's like a weird Austria Hungary arrangement kind of thing. Which hey, Austria
Okay.
Hungary around at this time.
Yep. Nothing terrible had happened to anyone yet.
Yeah, definitely not. Archduke Franz Ferdinand. His head was still intact at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
He hadn't
his head had
developed that
not.
hunger for sandwiches. Mm.
Yeah, his head had not yet done that.
Yeah.
That's the taxation without representation of pro baseball. Correct. I honestly think it's. I don't understand the arrangement. I mean, I understand why it mechanically exists, but I think the idea is supposed to be they don't want because this CIB league, um, they are not affiliated with the LNP in any way, shape, or form. So it's kind of the LMP is doing them a favor by, well, I guess they are affiliated in this way. The LMP is giving them basically money to operate, and in exchange, they just kind of get to be their own thing because the LMP already like helps subsidize two Canadian leagues at this point. So they're like we'll help you operate, but like we don't need any more teams in Canada. We're good.
Mm. Okay.
Anyway, the point is that Vernon Derrick was awesome in the 1890s, and he is 39 right now. He's wearing number 39. People don't know this, but he increases his number every year by one.
That would be amazing.
But he is great. I mean, this year he is currently leading the team. This is a 39-year-old man who is stealing 35
Wow.
bases on 50 attempts.
And that's my favorite thing. I love a guy who can steal a
It's
base.
it's like a white Canadian Ricky Henderson.
It's very good.
Except I will say Ricky Henderson drew a lot more walks, but it's not like he isn't doing that as well. His on base percentage was consistently very high throughout his career, and when it wasn't, he was at least hitting incredible numbers of triples. I mean, he hit 38 triples a couple of years ago. This year
Wow.
he's finally begun to slow down, but those wheels have gone absolutely nowhere. So he's the most dangerous bat they got to watch out for tonight. Is basically where we're going with this.
By a pretty big margin, it looks like.
Yes, indeed. We're also going to do a thing here. Spike is straight up tired, so we are not going to pull him off. We need our catchers to be rested. That's very important. We were going to just put him in a designated hitter, but we'd rather let him rest. He's a very important part of this team. So let's get down to the field here. And we can see,
Cloudy today.
indeed, it is. And unfortunately, we didn't get time to properly calibrate the simulator for the Coliseo de los Valencianos in Juncos, which is actually not very far away from Naguabo. They play in the next division over with Rio Grande and Canóvanas, and are currently the only team in there that is uh the only team there that is not in the playoffs.
Right.
Says Heckler Radical, has increasing his number every year ever brought him into conflict with a teammate who wore the number that's now his age? That's a great question.
I would love for that to be in his contract. Like, this is going to happen every year, or I walk.
I would not be shocked. He was very well known for a while there for being kind of not angry exactly, but very full of himself in a way. And he had reason to be. He was one of the best Canadian players in the 1890s, and when foreign players got to enter the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña for a couple of years there, it's almost weird that the Valencianos of all teams signed him because they have done nothing.
Yeah.
They are not a good team. I mean, their pitcher for today, who looks like an angrier version of Jake Johnson from New Girl, is 3-15 on the year.
Oh, man.
So let's see here. We've got it is raining, so we should expect rain delays. The east of Puerto Rico in this time of year, basically rain delays are just a fact of life. People come in knowing that at some point they'll get told to go get lunch or dinner, as the case may be. It's a warm day, and the wind is going left to right. So that's what happened last week. Balls could really go anywhere there. There's not much else to say. We've had a pretty exciting last week of Navegadores baseball. Several home runs got hit, including two grand slams, one by Eto'o Shirley and one by our boy Benji Valdez, who became the second Navegador this year to hit two home runs in the same game. And this is especially funny because Benji Valdez is very good at many, many, many things. The one thing he does not do is hit home runs. In fact, he had not hit one since 1902.
Amazing.
And then he hit two in the same game, which is also the first time he's hit multiple home runs in the same year.
He's back. He's back now.
He sure is. So, before we read out the lineups and get our first pitch, we do need a word from one of our sponsors. But just quickly before then, we'll say Heckler Radical added, if Otani was a Canadian white guy who didn't pitch, and also didn't do weird stuff with his taxes, but we don't need to get into that right now.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what this guy's doing with his taxes.
That's a good
To be
point,
fair.
actually. I don't. He's probably like pretending he doesn't speak. He doesn't know any Spanish when he goes into the tax office. Yeah. Unfortunate. Anyway, we need a word from the most beautiful of our variegated sponsors, and which sponsor is this?
This is our most supportive sponsor of all. This is Dr. Gonzalez Wood Tar Liquor. Folks, 50,000 patients have been cured over 10 years with this elixir. Chronic colds, rogue coughs, abundant chest discharges, asthma, bronchitis, and other respiratory ailments, all cured. It helps with consumption and with bladder catarrh. That's inflammation. It purifies your overhumored blood, and it whets the appetite for fattening. Important in the winter. Not to be confused with other Dr. Gonzalez Wood Tar liquors, except no substitutes. And of course, it's sold in all good pharmacies, especially San Juan's own Farmacia Giametti, at the corner of Calle de San Francisco and Calle de la Cruz.
Thank you very much, Louisa. It is now time to read the starting lineups for tonight. First, for the visiting Navegadores de Naguabo in their sapphire and gold, batting leadoff and playing right field, number 56, Frank del Castillo.
I'm sorry. I had a little trouble hearing that there. Could you say that name again, please?
Batting leadoff and playing right field, number 56, Frank del Castillo.
Diablo Rojo.
Batting second and playing second base, number 4, Eto'o Shirtlu.
The Font of Wisdom.
Batting third and playing left field, number 37, Vidal Santiago.
The Barber.
Batting fourth and playing third base, number 12, Wally Balk.
The Human Ripcord.
Batting fifth and playing first base, number 16, Rob Feaster.
The Grackle.
Batting sixth and playing shortstop, number 6, Benigno Valdez.
Benji.
Batting seventh and playing the designated hitter, number 18, Declan Milne.
I believe he still doesn't have a nickname, although he made some Winnie the Pooh jokes last time.
We did do that, indeed. Did you know he's not even the only Milne in the LNP?
Wow.
There's a guy named Reese Milne in... great question what system he's in right now. I think he just got cut from his last team.
Oh, geez.
A couple of years ago, he was sort of the future at first base for, I think, Ponce. And something happened this past season. I don't know if he was hurt or something. Oh, you know he's called the Font of Wisdom after doing something abysmally stupid. Actually, there's a much funnier reason. He's called the Font of Wisdom specifically because he ran away from a print shop. And he's the Font of Wisdom because he's one of the oldest guys on the lineup. By Navegadores standards, this guy is a grandpa.
I love it.
Batting...
He ceases to exist when he turns 30, like all Naves.
Whoa. We don't... Hang on. We don't, send him to the cornfield.
Don't we?
We just let him try the free agent market.
Uh-huh. That's what we tell ourselves, I think.
Listen, Jacques Centur is currently ripping it up for the big Gurabo Taino system in the sky, so...
Yeah...
Which, by the way, I think is... Gurabo must be playing right next door to this game, by the way.
Oh.
They play in the other league, but they're right near Juncos. Anyway, batting eighth and playing center field, number 27, Graham Underwood.
Graham.
Do you want to say that again? It came through kind of garbled. Oh, dear. That got worse. We're having some technical difficulties all of a sudden there. Do you want to try one?
Ham.
There we go.
Ham.
Okay. Ham! And batting ninth and catching. God, he's going to disappoint me tonight. I just know it. Number 17, Pablo Salmeron.
Oh, but he's got such a winning smile.
Yes, and great facial hair. And for the Valencianos de Juncos, batting leadoff and playing shortstop, number 12, Germán Narváez. Batting second and playing third base, number 35, Benedicto Varela. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 16, Pablo Benavides. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 39, and he is 39, Vernon Derek. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 26, Amerigo Ortiz. Batting sixth and playing second base, number 14, Alrigo Sanchez. Batting seventh and playing center field, horrendously, number 13, Enrique Malave. Batting eighth and playing left field, number 5, Matt Richardson. Batting ninth and catching, number 2, Daniel Lopez. And pitching for the Valencianos de Juncos tonight, it is number 46, Zacarias Gutierrez, who has 162 and 2/3 innings on the year, has gone 3-15 and severely questioned his life choices. Has an ERA of 3.21, 70 strikeouts to 60 walks, throws a fastball, sinker, and cutter. So he doesn't have a real breaking ball. This is going to be interesting. Against the Navegadores, that could mean anything. He could get banged out for 10 runs within the first 2 innings, or he might throw a complete game shutout. We don't know.
He might not know either.
I don't think the Naves know. Frank del Castillo, currently batting against him, average of 338, OPS of 903, 1 home run, 70 runs batted in. He recently lost the lead in runs batted in to Gerardo Sanchez of the Marcianos de Lajas, but he might have gotten it back in the last couple games. Says Hecloretical, brutal record for a sub 3.5 ERA, but what can you expect on that team? Actually, in 1905, a 3.21 ERA is 14% below average, believe it or not. We are living in very different times here. So here goes nothing. No Grotto this time, unfortunately.
Aw.
And you can see there the Naguabo fans have been sequestered to very specific sections there.
It does look like that, doesn't it?
Holding pens, yeah.
Now,
Naguabo's... Mm-hmm.
is it an ironic name that this is the Coliseo? Because it looks like quite a small park.
Coliseo is a fairly standard term for just a sports stadium.
Oh, okay. So it's not like grandiose.
Yes, indeed. Fifth in batting average at 338, by the way. Frank de Castillo, I wasn't sure where he ranked there. He's fifth in stolen bases. And he is, in fact, back in the lead in our RSBI, with 70. As that sinker misses low, and we are off. It's going to be interesting to see how the Naves deal with having terrible defense from the Valencianos in center field and at first base. Two vital spots here. Hecloretical says, I forgot it was the dead ball era. Never mind, he's the reason they're failing. It's him. Cutter. That one gets fouled off behind the plate. We're 1-1. I do want to point out we had to... Ooh, Frank lances that one, but it goes foul. A little bit too far into it on that one. Put the shoulder too far, and Matt Richardson was happy not to have to go chase it down. I'll say that. It's a 1-2 count. That sinker probably would have been ball 2 if he didn't swing, so this will be interesting. As Frank watches that sinker miss outside for sure. It's 2-2. Diablo Rojo watches another fastball land outside. We forgot that we're going to disable the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll bring it back when we need to, but we're operating under a theory that loading all of those scores is what caused the stream to crash a few broadcasts ago. So, anyway, the point is we have now been brought to the full count. So, next up are the 6 words everyone loves to hear during a baseball game.
Amazing.
This will be a payoff pitch.
Woo!
By the way, I would also like to add that Wally Balk recently became the only Navegador to have 10 home runs as Del Castillo lances that one into his own corner. Right field there, it bounces in front of right fielder Americo Ortiz, and that's a base hit on a sinker.
Very respectable.
Indeed. Good start, and we're about to see what they can do against Daniel Lopez's arm and Zacarias Gutierrez's pickoff move, because...
Yeah.
Luisa, would you like to fill in the audience on Frank de Castillo's proclivities on the base paths?
I cannot remember. That's the problem there. I know he's good. I don't remember specific details.
This man loves to get caught stealing. Like on a level similar to how you and I might enjoy a nice dinner out or a concert by one of our favorite bands. Frank de Castillo loves giving people a reason to throw him out at second.
Now, that's interesting because as you were looking through the screens for a second there, I think I saw some of Daniel Lopez's stats, and it looks like he is very bad at throwing people out. So
he's a little below average, and yet I'm gonna tell you right now. At best, Frank has a 50-50 shot of stealing a base, despite having, let's check this out really quick, 97 speed, 92 stealing aggressiveness, 97 stealing ability, and 96 base running. I'm still going to tell you it's a coin flip.
Oh, I hope he tries it.
I do as well. And here comes Eto'o Sherlu, the second baseman. Currently he's hitting 273, OPS of 741, the font of wisdom. 2 home runs and 42 runs batted in. Posting a Castillo toot plan every day until I get a job. Have we talked about the acronym toot plan? Or toot plan?
I feel like we have, and I've forgotten it.
It means thrown out on the base paths like a nincompoop.
Ah, yes. That does sound important, especially for some of these guys.
Yes, indeed. Shirley, 2 home runs, including that grand slam he hit the other day. Again, surprising power, although I think he had 5 a couple years ago. Oh, Gutierrez with a sinker down in the zone, but he catches it. It's 0-1. And Frank has not gone yet. This is very surprising. Sinker outside. Is Ardel Castillo learning? 1-1. Sinker misses outside. 2-1. You know what's even more interesting is Shirley lances that one down the right field line. Is that going to get called foul? Yes, it is.
Oh, come on.
I don't know what.
Let them play.
That's right.
You don't know what.
It's. I don't know what eyewear umpires needed in 1905 to get this figured out, but clearly they were not being provided with it. We'll say that. It is a 2-2 count. By the way, Naguabo has won all 3 games they've played against Juncos this season.
Mm-hmm.
Shirley checks a swing on the cutter, and it's back-to-back full counts for poor Gutierrez, who is now on 11 pitches. On full count, Eto'o Shirley is batting .324, 50 points above his normal batting average. So you know what that means. This will be a payoff pitch.
Woo.
Pitch coming in, and Shirley fouls it off. They'll stay in the at-bat at full count with a man on first and no outs.
What if we get a payoff pitch at every single at-bat? What then?
We're going to be here for like 5 hours, is the answer.
Yeah.
Gutierrez issues the walk, and Shirley is on first. 2 on and no outs for Vidal Santiago, the barber. Vidal Santiago hitting .294, OPS of .790, no home runs, 50 runs batted in. Great third bat for these guys. Just gets the job done nearly every time. Gets on base, hits and runs. Whatever you need him to do, that's what he does. So let's see what he's got against Gutierrez, who is at 13 pitches and has yet to record an out. As there we go, it's a steal of third. Daniel Lopez can't hold on to the ball, and De Castillo is now 60 for 85 in steals this season.
He's doing it.
Runners on the corners with no outs, as that fastball is called a strike, 0-1. Santiago hits that one away, and it's foul. And I think this is Gutierrez's first 0-2 count of the night. Let's see, now that he seems to have a little bit more placement in the strike zone, let's see if he can come back and use the sinker or the cutter to get Santiago out. And instead, he's going to miss wide with the fastball. It'll be 1-2. It's nice to watch another pitcher making these mistakes. Yep. Especially because in a half inning, we might be watching that happen again. Shirley draws the pickoff, but nothing doing there. 1-2. Santiago hits that one on a line drive, and it's right to the second baseman, Sanchez. Did the runner get back in time? Oh, it's a double play. Del Castillo did not get back in time. He was running, assuming that lineout would get over the second baseman's head. Sanchez made a great play there, noticing that Castillo was not back in time, had not touched the bag, and that's 2 outs with a man on first. That's exactly the kind of play you want to see if you're a pitcher struggling.
Well, the boys didn't expect that one.
No, they didn't. And Eto'o Shirley remains on base. He's first up with 2 outs, and here comes Wally Balk. There's the Castillo toot blend for the day. Indeed, it is. Wally Balk, the human ripcord, coming up. He's in .240, OPS of .701, 10 home runs and 49 runs batted in. We're pretty sure he's the first Navegador to hit 10 home runs in a season in the 20th century.
That's pretty good.
Sure is. Of course, he's leading the club in them, by definition, as there's a pickoff attempt there, and another pickoff attempt there. This is very funny because Shirley has been explicitly told he's not to try stealing.
I feel like the team's so mad at him right now.
Mm-hmm. Gutierrez misses inside with a sinker, 1-0. Misses again with a sinker, 2-0. Again, I feel like if a sinker misses low, you should let the pitcher have that. But on the other hand, if it's up, it should be called a ball because clearly you didn't do your job. It's a sinker.
Yeah.
Cutter is also low, so 3-0 for Wally Bach. Let's see if he can work one of those Bach walks we love against Gutierrez. He is hitting 1 for 4. Does he go for the strike? He does go for the gentleman's strike, and Bach actually almost swung at it and then thought better of it, so it'll be strike 1. Let's try that again. And he misses anyway. Wally Bach has worked the walk. Second walk for Zacarias Gutierrez, who is at 22 pitches, and 2 outs with 2 on for Rob the Grackle Feaster, who is hitting 3 for 4 against Gutierrez. Now, granted, this is a Rob Feaster who just got off the mother of all slumps. He is still just hitting 219, but you can see that Rob's strength is his ability to get on base, even when he can't do it via the bat. His on-base percentage is 348, OPS of 687. Does have a home run and 30 runs batted in on the day. Gutierrez only needs 1 more out to get out of this inning scoreless. Let's see if he can get that to happen. As that is rolled to Derek at first base. Is he going to make that throw in time? He will not! The bases are loaded with 2 outs as that play from Derek just falls a bit short. Rob Feaster there with a little grass cutter, and double duty Derek did his best, but could not make that throw happen in time. Rob Feaster's just too fast.
There's a lot of traffic on the field, that little part of the field just then.
Indeed. And now, with ducks on the pond, here comes Benji Valdez and 2 outs. He did hit a grand slam the other day. It would be very funny if he did so again here. But in the meantime, he's hitting 282, though he is hitting quite a bit worse away. OPS of 795, 2 home runs, and 44 runs batted in. Benji, for those of you who may be watching and are unfamiliar with his heroics, is the 2-time Ilustrísimo winner, that's the MVP, after winning Nobilísimo in 1902, that's Rookie of the Year. He was incredible for the Monjes Grises, the Gray Monks, over in Cuba, before he came over and joined the Navegadores, and has since been their best player as a premium defensive shortstop who can also hit just incredible amounts of line drive doubles and triples. Our team captain, our brother, our king, Benji, what have you got for us today? As he watches that, I think that's going to be called a strike, the cutter, and indeed it is, 0-1. As that I think is going to miss inside. The sinker, indeed it does. 1-1.
Barely.
Benji fouls that one off. It's 1-2. Gutierrez needs just 1 more strike to wrap up a tough inning, but one that he will have gutted out and can be quite proud of. Here he goes. And he got him!
Wow.
Benji swings right through a pitch to strand the bases loaded, and he may have thrown nearly 30 pitches in that first inning, but he did not allow a score. Zacarias Gutierrez, thanks to a very lucky double play there, gets out of the situation. We head to the bottom of the first, and it's number 2, Ted Balloon, taking the mound for the Navegadores. What is Ted Balloon's much better known nickname?
Ted Balloon? That's Looney Balloony.
Indeed.
Doesn't he have another nickname, or am I imagining that?
He does. You are correct. The Wild Man of Naguabo.
Ah, yes.
And it kind of looked earlier on in this season that he didn't deserve that nickname. He seemed to start to be the tame man of Naguabo.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not what he's been like over the past few weeks. His ERA has ballooned. He's, no pun intended, he's issued a lot more walks, hit batsmen, wild pitches. He has yet to be called for a balk this year, though.
Interesting. That's good. You don't need to say he hits batters because he always will hit batters. That is something inherent to Ted's nature.
But that's the interesting bit. He basically hadn't hit anyone until the last month of games or so, and then he just made up for lost time.
Yeah, exactly. He has to always come back to center where he's hitting a guy.
That's what he loves to do. Frank de Castillo loves giving guys chances to get thrown out. Ted Balloon loves pitching inside badly. That's his
Hmm.
favorite thing in the world. And yet, he is sitting on 184 and one third innings, a 17 and 2 record, 143 strikeouts to 45 walks, an ERA of 2.25, and he's got a fastball, curveball, forkball, and changeup, which have gotten significantly reinforced during this season. So let's see what he's got against Valencianos lineup that we are about to check here. Uh, Actually strikes out a lot. The
Okay.
Navegadores are about one of the few teams that maybe strike out as often as they do. But the difference is that the Navegadores also, can score runs and prevent them.
Yeah, they know how to do some fielding, etc.
Exactly. So the first guy that he's going to face is Germán Narvaez, who is hitting 223, OPS of 559, no home runs, 25 runs, batted in.
Narvaez. That's an interesting combination of vowels.
Narvaez, I wonder if he's related to the shipping firm. Narvaez y Roldan owned the building that eventually became, well, actually, did it become La Central? I think it
Hmm.
did eventually, but it was where La Selección was held, the very first
Oh,
draft of players.
okay.
Changeup, fouled off, 0-1. Ted opening with a changeup, that's new. We don't see that very often. We do see that very often. He misses low with a fastball on an iffy call, 1-1. Popped up. Narvaez sends that one over into, looks like shallow right center, and it's the font of wisdom coming in to grab it, out number one. It's a forkball that he sent over yonder, and here comes Benedicto Varela, who is hitting 191, OPS of 494, 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in. The base is empty. He's hitting 174, but both of his homers have been solo shots, so you do unfortunately have to worry about him.
Yeah. It'd be nice if he could get everybody out real quick,
That would
but
be
who
good.
knows?
Fastball low and in, 1-0. You do really have to love these Valencianos uniforms. I'm sure that they first came up with them in the 1970s and haven't changed them since.
Mm-hmm.
Change up low again, 2-0. Very, very Padres.
Yeah,
It's that
I
fastball
guess so.
misses.
They are yellow and brown, though, correct?
Yes,
Or gold, I should say.
yes. But I,
Is
I,
anybody?
mm-hmm.
Oh, is anybody orange and brown?
Not at, not in baseball. The Cleveland Browns
Okay.
are orange and brown.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I'd seen some team. Okay, it's nice, kind of chocolate and peanut butter look.
3-0 count. It's a hitter's count. Ted going nowhere near Varela for some reason. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Ted goes for the gentleman's strike, and Varela obliges. Throws the
Ooh,
forkball right down Main Street, and Varela, being the gentleman that he is, does not swing. It's a 3-1 count now. Let's see if Ted can end the at bat here. Varela lances that one into right field. Frank de Castillo chasing it down, maybe? No, he's just going to let it bounce against the wall.
oh man, it did bounce against the wall, didn't it?
Yes, indeed. Why that didn't get called foul, I'll never know, but that's going to be a triple for Benedicto
Wow.
Varela.
Uh-oh.
Indeed, a one-out triple, and now Ted's got trouble to deal with.
Yeah.
Maybe if a couple other ones of those balls were strikes, maybe that wouldn't be a problem. Varela has hit 3 triples this season and is a reasonably fast runner, so he was a guy you needed to keep off the base paths, and yet here we are.
Darn.
Here comes Pablo Benavides, who is hitting 214, OPS of 573, no home runs, 34 runs batted in, man on third, and 1 out. As that forkball is in there for a strike, 0-1. Would be good if Ted just decides to get everybody out at the plate. That'd be nice, as he no longer has to worry about a no-hitter. Fastball misses low, 1-1. Swings on that one and fouls it off. It's 1-2 now. A curveball. We haven't seen many of those from him. Let's see if he wants to try that again. Get the out. And he does. Struck him out swinging with a high heat at the shoulders there. And down goes Benavides to continue his cold streak.
Nice. They can get out of this. It's possible.
They could, But first, they got to get through double duty Derek, who is hitting 237, OPS of 611. 1 home run, 30 runs batted in, 2 outs, man on third. Pablo Salmeron better be getting ready those gloves for dear life because a passed ball would bring in that run. Ted watches Derek foul off that first pitch. It's a curveball. 0-1. Derek then watches that changeup right down the middle. My God, he threw that pitch and lived.
That is a beautiful pitch.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what happens now. Derek hits that one on a line drive, and Valdez goes to ground and catches it. It's a line drive up the middle, and on a diving grab, Benji Valdez saves the inning. They get out of it in turn.
Woo!
Both middle infields showing up big here. A 3-star catch by Benji Valdez. Noticing the dip, reading the vertical angle of trajectory correctly, and going to the ground to save his pitcher a run. We're through 1 inning. This game is scoreless. So where's your confidence level now?
I think they can take care of business on this one. I know they get too cocky when they face a team that's very much worse than they are, but I think they're going to handle this okay. And I'm going to say, I don't think it's going to be a shutout. Here, I'm going to make a prediction for the score. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it's 3-1 is what it's going to be.
3-1. Okay. I guess in that case, I got to go the other way because you said... So you're saying a low-scoring game. So I think for just the sake of having fun here, I have to go the other way and go for a high-scoring game. I'm going to say... I'm going to say 9-3. So I still think Juncos gets 3 runs, but I think they're going to get beaten 9-3.
Okay, interesting.
Let me just put up the scores, or the lack thereof, for everybody who has not joined us yet, in case they would like to see what's up. Some real web gems here, except there's no web. Yeah, they're sending all the web gems via Telegraph.
That's right. It's interesting. Score is 0-0, but we got to see a lot of pitches ending up with not a whole lot of chance to score, really. Versus almost no hits, except one hit that was so good, that triple, that it almost resulted in a score. But still, nothing for anybody.
Indeed. Can La Brújula open it up in the top half of the second? Just a dream. I just saw that you posted that about a dream bass ballet, I guess.
Yes, dream bass ballet. Yes.
Indeed.
Like Sid Charisse in Singing in the Rain.
Yes, gotta dance. And where is...
And as I always say, if I make a tortured pun and say, if you will, the person I'm talking to doesn't stop the conversation, they are complicit. They've agreed.
Right. I don't like this method of strategizing conversations where you're sort of locking the other person up in there with you, like you're Rorschach.
You don't like my Sigma conversation skills?
Please
it's important
don't.
to always
I
strategize against your conversation partner at all times.
You know what? I've become prejudiced against the Greek letter just because of my for professional reasons at this point. Yeah. So anyway, in the top of the second inning, Zacarias Gutierrez is at 27 pitches through the first, having allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, and an inning-ending strikeout that was... I think we can say with some confidence, pretty badass.
Yeah.
And his reward is getting to face Declan Milne, the recently acquired designated hitter for the Navegadores. He didn't have to travel quite across 100-acre wood to go from Sabana Grande to Naguabo, but they needed a guy who didn't strike out very often, drew plenty of walks, could hit the occasional dinger. And with Milne, that's what they're hoping they're getting. Overall, he's hitting 318, OPS of 752. He's got 2 home runs and 38 runs batted in. What the hell was that? But that's actually a little bit misleading here.
Oh.
Because Milne specifically in 16 games with the Navegadores is actually hitting 260, OPS of 643. So he's actually a little bit less than average right now, unfortunately.
It looks like the only thing he's good at all is sacrifice bunting.
What about all of these ratings?
Oh, I'm only focused on the other batting ratings, I suppose.
Yeah, the main batting ratings are over here on the basics. He's supposed to be a fairly good hitter overall. Plus, he can play decent first and third base, which they need. But yes, he seems to be having trouble getting used to hitting Betances pitching. That maybe just the change of scenery is taking its toll on him.
Yep. Few players have names for their bats because the 100-acre wood would be a great name for his bat.
Indeed. Insight with a fastball, 1-0. Trying to think if there's any other Winnie the Pooh base names that would be good for a baseball bat, but what I'm realizing is I don't know Winnie the Pooh all that well. Fouls diving off to the right, 1-1.
Honeypot? No.
He, again, gets the swinging strike there on the sinker, 1-2. Beautifully done from Gutierrez, who seems to be feeling himself maybe a little bit more after that pickup in the first inning. Misses that sinker, low and outside, 2-2. Yeah, there's not a whole lot beyond the character names, is there?
I don't remember enough, unfortunately. I did read all the books when I was a kid.
Fastball misses low, and hey, guess what? It's another full count, so this will be a payoff pitch.
Woo.
Indeed. Knocks that one to Sanchez at second base, repeating the unsuccessful strategy of hitting it to Sanchez that they are following so far. And Milne is retired. Up comes Graham Underwood, the center fielder who's currently hitting 251, OPS of 618, 1 home run, 40 runs batted in. And
Yay.
If a starting lineup guy hitting 251 worries you, well, we're going to be honest here. It worries us too, but just a few scant weeks ago, he was hitting 229. And within the last several games, he's launched 1, 2, 3, 4 3-hit games in about the last month or so. So we're starting to be happy with where Ham's at. Let's put it that way.
I'm always going to be proud of him. He's my special boy.
He is your special boy. That is true. 1 out, base is empty. Let's see if Ham Underwood can make it happen. Last time we were on stream, oh boy, he majestic flight on that ball, but it's foul.
Ugh.
He hit his first home run of the season the other day. I know that happened. And on top of that, he's, the last time we were on stream, I think he had a 3-hit night, and I think he stole 3 bases.
Yeah, it seems right, because I remember his stats were going up in that game, and it was very exciting.
Indeed. I'm starting to feel like I'm Teal'c. Cutter misses low there. Did you ever watch Stargate SG-1?
Nope.
All right. I'll stop the jokes then. They're not going to make any sense to you. Fastball misses low, 2-1.
I saw the movie.
Same. It's very funny how much the characterization of Colonel O'Neill differs between the movie, where Kurt Russell is an incredibly a soldier suffering from very intense PTSD, and the series where it's MacGyver doing jokes the entire time.
You can't help it though, can you?
No, and that's the point. Fouls off another sinker, 2-2. Here we go again. And he got him! Gutierrez with his second strikeout of the night to send down
like
Underwood.
Don't like that at all.
Apparently he's just rebounding really well. Angry Jake Johnson over here is into it. And here comes Pablo Salmeron, who has never gotten a hit off of Gutierrez in 5 at-bats. Average of 238, OPS of 706. He is currently second on the ball club with 5 home runs and 26 runs batted in. Let's see if we can... Mm-hmm.
Did he not get his nickname said? I just realized we never covered him.
Because he does stuff like that, so he doesn't deserve a nickname. Hits that
his
first ball. Got hit. Yes, it did. It got hit immediately to the shortstop, Narvaez, who threw about a first. I said his, what did I mention about him? Well, we mentioned his winning smile, his great facial hair.
Oh, yeah, because you started getting into some of his specifics, I guess.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
But he is Rodion, I remember. Although
Yeah.
I cannot say it correctly. But I'm close.
Yeah. Big knees. Apparently, because that's why he decided he wanted to catch. He was supposed to play third base, and he's always wanted to play left field, which is what his hero plays. Eugenio Garcia, known as Suavecito, who plays for the Quesiteros. He's also hit. I think he just did his 10th home run of the year the other day, Suavecito. But he is, if I remember correctly, from the same town as Salmeron, or maybe he just grew up idolizing him. But Salmeron always wanted to play left field, and the Navegadores just stuck him out there for a couple innings in one game for no reason. Very funny.
Catcher's a good position to have a good career in, though, if you can do it.
That's true. Yeah, Salmeron, I don't know how he's going to do when he goes on the free agent market, because I suspect that any team that grabs him will try to turn him into either a DH or a first baseman. He's not that good a catcher.
Shame.
Now, if he improves at the defensive side of the ball, we'll see what happens, but it just hasn't happened yet. Ted Balloon back on the mound after 1 inning, 15 pitches, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, and he will face Ortiz, Sanchez, and Maravé at minimum. Amerigo Ortiz currently hitting .310, OPS of 725, no home runs and 15 runs batted in. Let's see what Balloon's got in store for him. Ortiz here immediately sends that one to Valdez. Valdez has it, makes the overhand throw to first, and that's 1 pitch and 1 out. That's exactly the kind of thing Ted needs more of in this game. Rodrigo Sanchez next up. He's in 202, OPS of 488. No home runs and 16 runs batted in. You know, I don't usually purposefully get into tangents on these games, but I'm going to because this is so important. This is something we should all be doing more of. I have done it 3 times in the past week, and I've loved it. As Sanchez watches a changeup miss low, it's 1-0. And that is make crispy chickpeas.
Aha!
That is lined into center field, and it's going to land in front of Underwood. Sorry, you were saying?
Were you thinking of Crispy Rispies when you said that?
No, I was not, but now I am, because this guy might be there before long.
Yes. I haven't ever made crispy chickpeas, and I think I need to.
So I had only made them in the oven, and that's fine. They come out pretty good. Though I will say that if you season them in the oven, which you kind of want your seasoning to have a little caramelization to it, you know?
Yes.
If you season them in the oven, especially with a lot of spice rubs, there is a small amount of moisture there, and if you toss your chickpeas just straight in, the surface moisture is going to come out. It's going to hydrate the spice rub. It can make it a sticky mess. You don't want that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Or it burns them. So the method that I've learned, and I highly recommend this, is take your canned chickpeas, or readied chickpeas if they were dried. You drain them, put them on a plate, on a paper towel, and then you microwave them for... Now, if you want something like peanuts, if you want something that you can just pop in your mouth like popcorn, you can go a full 10 minutes. They will come out super crunchy. I haven't actually tried this yet, because what I've been told is if you want to do like a composed dish, if you want to put them in something else, you can just do 5. And I have done this, and they come out beautifully split and dry.
Okay.
At which point, you then rig up a pan full of hot oil, medium high heat. You toss them in there, and you keep stirring and tossing and doing other things until they get a nice coat of browning.
Mm-hmm.
Toss in some seasonings, maybe some herbs, and they are delicious.
Now, what kind of seasonings are we talking here? I'm imagining something like tahini, which would have salt and also a sourness would be nice, but what are you using?
That one I haven't tried yet. I have done. Let's see. What did I do the first time? That one's actually pretty hard to remember.
Hmm.
Uh, ooh,
Were you taking inspiration from a specific place in the world?
no, actually, I think I was just I'd never done it before, so I was just improvising. Uh, man, I can't remember right now. I want to say that I used the seven spice Boccarat powder I have,
Ah,
which is kind of a general Mediterranean feel, but that might be incorrect. It's supposed to make things taste kind of Levantine,
okay.
like
Sounds
a
good.
like a lamb shawarma kind of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been that. I'm not sure. I do know on Monday, I had a frozen thing of grilled vegetables, which you can roast with oil in the pan, and they do come out a little bit soft for my taste, but they have a lot of like the flavor is there. They do taste grilled a little bit.
Oh,
So
okay.
that time I
Sweet.
just did salt and pepper,
Mm-hmm.
and then tossed the vegetables in there and fried those up a little bit. Very very good. And then this time it was very simple: salt, garam masala, and a bunch of fresh cilantro.
Does sound good.
And that was with some pulao and some homemade paneer tikka masala, and it was pretty legit, I would say.
Nice.
And this time even because there were so many chickpeas, it actually came out kind of they came out a little bit softer, which wasn't
Oh,
bad actually. Some crunchiness, but
yeah, in a sauce, that's nice.
Heckler Radical says thanks for mentioning tahine, triggering my I want tahine on a popsicle response in January also, and says
Oh,
Faradin, love
yes.
paneer.
I love it on fresh melon or mango.
Oh,
Such,
mango
such
with
good
tahine.
stuff. Hmm.
Amazing. Peach is also good.
Yes.
Any fruit that has like a honey taste to it, I think tahine benefits really well.
Yeah. I wish more spice blends had a sour note because I love that in tahini, and you don't really see that in a lot of blends. Lemon
Just
pepper, you do get a bit.
yeah, just lob a bunch of sumac into whatever you're gonna make next.
Yeah, chew on some sassafras leaves.
Next up, it's Enrique Marave, who's hitting 203, OPS of 477, no home runs, 20 runs batted in. And Ted, if I have to watch you let this team beat you, I'm gonna be
Ted,
angry.
come on now, Ted.
Man on first with one out. As he goes for the bunt. Look at that.
Yeah.
But it's a bluff. He pulls back, and it's 1 0 as the curveball misses. This time he does bunt it. It goes to Ted. He goes for the lead runner. Are they going to go to first? They will not. Relay throw not in time. But that's a smart play by Ted Balloon there. Seeing the sack bunt, getting to it, and fifth infielder
Yeah.
instincts taking over to throw to second and get the lead runner out. Unsuccessful sacrifice hit from Enrique Marave. It's a fielder's choice, and now there's one man with two outs for Matt
Nice.
Richardson, the left fielder, who is currently hitting 190, OPS of 499, no home runs and 4 runs batted in. Hey, would you take a look at this? Matt Richardson, the rare American playing
Oh,
in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña right now. He's
huh.
41 years old from Marlin, Texas.
He must be on his decline, huh?
He's hitting 190, yes, for sure.
Was he
But
ever? No.
granted, he is also a backup player, so there is
Hmm.
that. He's only had
Okay.
21 at bats. But we do have our old 19th century almanac open. Let's find out whether he played in the 19th century. Let's see, Richardson. Do we have this guy?
Have been eligible to even join the LNP till recently, right?
That is correct. Until 1901, he would not have been able
Mm,
to do that, nor would any other foreigner. And given that, again, they beat back the American invasion in 1901, the fact that he
hmm.
signed with Juncos shortly thereafter is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
And the answer here is that Matt Richardson won the 1894 batting title in
Oh
in
wow.
the Liga del Rio Bravo. He only got to play, he played 4 years with the Tucson Highwaymen, where he was a consistently above average hitter, hit one home run in that entire time. Let's see, had a career slash line of 309, on base percentage of 347, did indifferently in the field, and was terrible in the one postseason that he got. He played 12 games and batted 176. And I do not think that the Tucson, they won the pennant for the Border League, which was the U.S. side of things, but they did not beat the Colibris, which were the Mexican side of things.
Okay, editorializing heavily. What if baseball's his life? He got that title. He loves baseball. That's all he's ever wanted to do.
He's
As
like,
he gets
go on.
as he gets older, these are small teams in places that just have a small market. They're not going to be able to support having older players. They're just going to have people at the top of their game or nobody. Maybe he went to the island because there's such an established baseball culture and so many teams here that this is where he could continue to play baseball.
It's certainly likely. I think what I'm more saying is that it's surprising that Puerto Rican teams were already letting Americans sign up to play.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder what else goes on in his personal story there, yeah.
Because he's not the only one. I will say that there have been other American players who have signed up, and there's even prospects, which is interesting. And it's not like the Navegadores don't have interests in the continued health of baseball in America. They are currently subsidizing some sort of minor integrated leagues in the Northeast and in Texas, actually. Though I don't know how they're managing to get that one integrated.
I wonder if, maybe because he's played so long, he knows some of the players. Did he get sponsored by players who would vouch for his character to let him play in the LNP once
But
it became
those would
open?
also mostly be Americans, is the issue.
People he played with, yes,
I
but we
know.
don't know who he played against or met playing around. That's
That
all
is
I'm saying.
true. There might be a Mexican player or two that could have been helpful. I don't know. I don't know if they ended up in the LMP. Most of the Mexican players stayed in the Liga Nacional Mexicana. But yeah, it's a good question. Um, hmm.
I
Interesting.
just like thinking up people's backstories. Everyone's got a story.
I think what we're learning here is that Puerto Ricans are uncommonly forgiving people.
Yeah, true.
As there's a pickoff attempt to first, but Manave back in plenty of time. Oh, not this again. Second pickoff attempt to first. No, he's throwing at the plate already. And Richardson swings right through that changeup 0-1. Swings on that one and hits it to the side there. Fouls it off 0-2 on the fastball. Another pickoff attempt for funsies. Manavet's not even that fast. I don't know what you're doing there. And then Balloon misses low and away with the changeup 1-2. And nearly nicks him.
Wow. I could have sworn that bounced off his shoe.
Same. I'm surprised he's not saying as much. It is clear, Heckler Radical says, it is clear in the terms of the league. No gringos are allowed in the clubhouse. Sorry. Okay, I will make an exception because he looks very polite. That is actually how the Canadians got to play. 2-2 count.
Oh, that's great.
Got him! Inside corner on the curveball, and Juncos gets the hit, and that's it. We're through
Nice.
two. The game remains scoreless, and boy, we need to accelerate this a little bit.
They're
gonna-
taking forever to get these guys out.
Well, and we're taking forever to narrate it, to be honest with you, but, you know,
True.
people seem to be enjoying themselves, so we're having fun. I'm going to very quickly update everybody on social media as to what's going on right now, so if there's anything you wanted to mention from the past two innings, now's the time.
Oh boy, now that I'm on the spot, mostly I'm thinking about how I do want to try crispy chickpeas. It's a great time of year to eat healthier, and I don't want to eat healthier because healthy food is usually like light or cold sometimes, a salad, etc. I want that. That's not what I'm looking for in January. But you know, a nice curry with chickpeas in it, that might fit the bill. A nice warm sauce, a nice bowl of rice. That's satisfying on a winter's night.
This is beginning to sound like a, ooh, I don't know, a jig perhaps? The beginnings of one?
I start speaking faster and faster, and somebody starts clapping, and then someone's playing a fiddle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I'm a country boy. Does that count as a jig?
That's a great question. I would not know. I know it counts
Yeah.
as a seventh inning song.
Who likes that one again?
Baltimore Orioles.
No reason for that, I suppose. I mean, I don't know one.
For those of you who are unaware, the LMP obviously doesn't use "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and every team gets its own seventh inning stretch song. But we have decided to replace what the songs would be, because they're mostly Puerto Rican songs and merengues and things like that you might not know over here, might not have over here. They might not exist in this universe. So we've replaced them with mostly fun titles. I don't know what the Valencianos have, but I'll tell you the Navegadores' seventh inning stretch song is "Come Sail Away" by Styx.
Great song.
They mostly pick songs that, if you were the opposing team, hearing thousands of people shout them at you would be terrifying.
And I particularly love that song because it starts about camaraderie and sailing, but then aliens appear in the middle, near the end, I suppose.
So it's a Styx song, is what you mean.
It's a wild twist. You know, they wrote that stage show, and I don't know if it ever got finished. You know, for Mr. Roboto's from that. I don't know if they ever finished that stage show.
Unfortunate.
But you could tell through their whole career they were building towards that. That's something they wanted to achieve.
I'm a fan of leafy greens cooked with coconut milk, grated nutmeg, float, and uncut bird's-eye chili to meet the veggies quota when it's cold out. Interesting.
That sounds good.
I'd never heard of leaving the chili uncut. And it's funny, you mentioned this. Coconut milk, grated nutmeg, leafy greens. This is the exact recipe Von Diaz has in her From Coconuts to Collards for collard greens.
Nice.
It's soy sauce and coconut milk, and then you can add the nutmeg if you so please. But the idea is to highlight the funkiness of the greens, but then use the coconut milk and the soy sauce to sort of... It still cuts it, I find. But I still prefer to do it with kale. Especially Tuscan kale comes out really nice in that recipe. And it's dead easy, and you can serve it with anything. I like to have it with pork chops. Very nice.
I have a hard time with cooked greens myself. Strong flavor. Although I do like creamed kale. You're right. Kale really stands up to
it does
being cooked.
And in this case, I find that especially if you're using Tuscan kale, it comes out, because of the coconut milk, it comes out rather sweet for kale, which is very nice. Okay. So I really like that.
I'm going to have to try that.
Pork and greens, man. They're just a match made in heaven. Pork, bacon, sausage, anything.
Yes. Yep.
All right, top of the third. Zacarias Gutierrez, 39 pitches over 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Man loves the number 2 today. Let's see if they can hang 2 on him in this inning. Franklin Castillo back up, leading off. He is 1 for 1 on the night. As that is a called strike. That was a ball.
That's so far out. Unfair.
Unbelievable. Taro greens. I never even thought of that. I never even knew that was a thing. Let's see. We get a sinker on the outside corner, and of course that's strike 2. So let's see what Frank does now, because he's going to have to deal with what he's got going on here, where anything is now a strike. Knocks that one foul.
Flavor of the chili without the heat. I'm always looking for that because I do love the flavor of chili peppers, but I cannot take that much heat.
Cutter low. Frank having to expand the zone. Hits it foul. 0-2 will stay at. Since that could have very well been strike 3 if he didn't swing. Frank sends that one into right field, and that is also going to be foul. So at least he's extending the at-bat. That's something.
That's true.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I just literally never heard of it. It's a great idea, though. Must look really nice, too, presentation-wise. Oh, that's... We found the point at which the umpire will say it's a ball. 1-2 on the fastball away.
If you were a manager on the field, you'd be thrown out of the game by now.
Probably. Sinker low, 2-2. I did work with the baseball team at my workplace. De Castillo lines it into center field, but that's getting
It's a
caught
good
by
hit.
Malave out there. Well hit, but just not quite enough distance to get it off the wall. Gutierrez, though, starting to get tired, so we'll see what happens as he now faces Shirtley, who drew a walk off of him last time. I work with the baseball team, and most of the umpires around where we are, let's just call bread, and wine, are old white guys who cannot be expected to know any Spanish. So I taught them non-curse Spanish to say if they were mad. So, for example, things like I taught them to say este tipo, which means this guy.
It's very good.
Even the coach asked me to teach him "Estás ciego? Are you blind?" Which I don't like saying because it's ableist and whatever. But
Yeah. Very classic for baseball,
I
though.
was gonna say, yeah. I did like that Ted Mosby one about what was it? Hey ref, you might want to check your phone because you've missed a few calls.
That is good.
Ump was merely distracted, thinking about dinner and cooking like ourselves. Who can blame him? Fair enough. Sinker taken for a strike, 0-1. So I think, funnily enough, surely Puerto Rican agriculture is different in this world, but greens are not usually a part of the Puerto Rican diet. That's why Von Diaz is so interesting in that regard. How much he really loves them. As that sinker misses away, 1-1. Pardon me, misses inside. Got flipped there. Turned upside down. Sherlew checks his swing in time, and he does on the sinker, up and away. 2-1.
Getting all the corners.
Yes, he is. Is that a strike? No, it's a ball on the sinker. 3-1 count. Sherlew about to draw his second walk, which I'm sure I have now jinxed. Yep, sure did. He fouls it off, and it's a full count instead. So this will be a payoff pitch.
Woo.
It's a walk.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
Yep, away with a sinker, which is my third favorite baseball carol. Next up is Vidal Santiago, who's 0-1 on the day. He has one hit in 6 at-bats against Gutierrez, as Sherlew has to get back after that pickoff move. Wally Balk on deck, man on with 1 out, as that is called a
What's going on? That's the same spot exactly as the other one.
Does this umpire just need, like, a specific class here?
Maybe he's got a blind spot there, like we all do in our eyeballs, and he doesn't know.
Heckler Radical says, I'm not too familiar with Puerto Rican food aside from a neighbor's King's Day party when I was a kid, so I don't know what veggies are commonly eaten in Puerto Rico. Tubers, root vegetables are very common. Greens, not so much.
Sweet peppers, I have found.
Yes. And what was that second one? You said sweet peppers and something else.
I just said sweet peppers, I have found, in that I have only learned that fairly recently.
Yes, sweet peppers, a lot of onion, obviously, and that sort of thing. Tomatoes, not often fresh, but they're used in a lot of the sauces. Yeah, taro, sweet potato, malanga,
Plantains, delicious plantains.
Yes. So yes, a lot of tubers, a lot of root vegetables, not a whole lot of leafy greens, not a whole lot of that. So it's an 0-1 count after that called strike on the fastball. And no, don't be sorry about the food talk because I'm actually trying to practice being able to switch between the two tracks here. As that fastball misses inside, 1-1. So the more practice I get, the better. You're helping make future broadcasts better. As that is flown out to center field, Manave once again underneath it in time, and Sherlew has to run back to first base. You would expect that a terrible center fielder would just run bad routes, not be able to get there in time, that sort of thing, and yet it's Underwood, who's a very good center fielder, who's had trouble with a ball.
Darn it. Come on, Underwood.
Here comes Wally Balk, who drew a walk last time he was up. 2 outs, man on first, and he immediately lances that one foul. A sinker, 0-1. Let's see if we can at least do something to advance. Pardon me, as he fouls that one off as well. Another sinker. Gutierrez now at 57 pitches. Attempts another pickoff to Sherlew. What is his problem with the font of wisdom?
Yeah, he's got something out for him.
0-2. And he got him. Gutierrez just got his third strikeout
Oh,
of the night. The Navegadores get a walk, and that's Hawk. The game remains scoreless.
well,
This is going swimmingly.
do you still think it's going to be 9-3? Can you still hang on to that
They,
idea?
yeah, they can definitely explode for 9 runs in one inning if they get the right. They get the right. If the balls fall the right way, basically.
Fair.
There's something charming about a terrible fielder. The team keeps playing at a key defensive position when it's not my team doing it. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep. So let's see who we got here. Ted Balloon is through 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, 25 pitches. He is facing Daniel Lopez, the catcher, who is hitting 184, OPS of 493, 1 home run, 14 runs batted in. He will then face Narvaez and Varela. Let's see which hit Ted is going to give up to a batter that doesn't deserve it, as he gets a nice call there on the fork ball for strike 1. Misses wide with the fastball, 1-1. By the way, I know you can. You've probably seen a number of those Ko-Fi links now, as that fastball is low, 2-1. And maybe we should get into it. If you visit the page right now, what you'll see is a bunch of boletines de turno. We try to narrate the season as it goes, and the way that we've chosen to do it is every time we take a run through the rotation. So 4 games, sometimes 8. And then we also include a logbook, important things that are happening as he misses low with that fastball. It's 3-1. Trades around the league, things that are interesting. Our most recent one, we're at the halfway point of the season, so we talked about that. Pretty soon we have the trading deadline and the All-Star game and the Bucherones a la Carga, which is our version of the home run derby. But you can also...
If you that's all available. All that information is just available for you there. But if you make a modest contribution to the LNP every month, you can have a player you've designed yourself, which I have done, and that is Ham. That's why he's my special boy. Graham Ham Underwood in this game.
That is exactly correct.
27.
And if you'd like to be, especially right now, if you'd like to be a pitcher or a designated hitter, we could sure use you. Because what we've done is almost all of these guys on this starting lineup, the only exception being Milne, are players that have been created by different patrons. And Spike Stonehand, the catcher that we were going to put in, if he weren't exhausted and we need him to be in tip-top shape, is also a creative player. It's $3 a month, and you get to do that. You get to vote in our mascot bowl, which the votes are. We would happily extend the due date for you, but you get to vote on which teams we decide mascots for. They go head to head. We create T-shirts out of the winners for each league, and you also get to design a minor league team. And there are plenty available. Let me tell you that there are going to be 2 levels of feeder teams for each of the LMP teams. We've already had a few designed. Luisa has designed the Vieques team, the Zumbadorcitos, which is a bird known as the Puerto Rican emerald.
A hummingbird, and I love its name, and they look very cool, and their colors are purple, green, and blue, which I love.
There have been, the Naguabo minor league team has been designed. It's called the Malditos, the damned ones. It's a pun on Martin Maldonado's nickname, Martin Maldonado's nickname of Maldi, since he's from Naguabo, and they wear these uniforms with like fire coming up the socks and the sleeves and everything, and that's our prospect team. It's awesome. So we would be happy to have you. Once we get through this era of special prospects, I am going to play through about 20 years on my own and then open it back up. Hopefully I'll get to play through that very, very quickly on my own, and then I'll open it back up for a second round of special prospects in the free agency era, which is going to come up very early, comparatively, for the LMP. While we were talking about that, Ted issued a walk.
Ted, come on.
To put a man on with no outs, and the lineup turns over. Narvaez, 0 for 1 on the day.
Charge.
You are kidding me. Yes! Frank charges that ball, and he's got it. Nice. And Lopez, unfortunately, does have plenty of time to get back, but that is an out. Sorry, Luis, I cut across you. You were saying.
No, I just whispered charge because for some reason the organ decided to play the little fanfare.
Uh, yes, I think you were trying to say something even before then.
Ah, do you remember what it was about? Because I don't.
No.
Well, it'll come back to me if it was important.
Fair enough. All right, man on and one out for Benedicto Varela, who is 1 for 1. He hit that triple last time. He goes for the bunt and fouls it off 0-1. Bunt again. This time it's up to Salmeron. Don't biff it. Throws to first, and that is out number 2, but it's a successful sacrifice hit as Lopez moves over to second. Here comes Pablo Benavides, who is 0-for-1 on the day. And by the way, even if you would prefer, we actually have a couple open text fields for creative players. Just kind of what do you want the story to be here. If you don't want to be on the Navegadores, not only is that fine, that means we would try to broadcast that team as well. As the fourth ball is in there.
Anybody.
0-1. Indeed. That is hit to Valdez. He's got it. He's going to make that throw, and I think we are out of this inning. As Feaster catches it on the stretch. We are through 3. The game remains unbelievably scoreless. Pardon me? Scoreless.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. Sorry.
Shall we have a word from a sponsor?
Heckler Radical says, so I can financially support you and increase your job responsibilities. I believe this is literally how my bosses phrased it the other day, yes. And yes, we shall have a word from our sponsors before we continue. Louisa, who are we talking about this? Before you begin,
Yes.
So you may not know this. I don't know if we've ever talked in depth about this, but Microsoft Windows does not accept flag emoji. I've tried a million different ways that have been suggested online to get it to work. So far, none of them have. But what's funny is that when you type in the names of countries, if I mistakenly type it into the Windows emoji service, I guess, instead of Blue Sky or whatever, you get some fun stuff. So, for example, I just typed in Mexico, and instead of the Mexican flag, which is not supported, I was shown a piñata emoji, which I did not know existed.
Oh boy, is it that star-shaped one?
No, it's actually a little horsey.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to get the cactus or maybe the avocado.
Ooh, avocado, boy. Yeah, I thought the piñata was pretty stereotypical, but I am now recalibrating after both of those choices you just
Yeah, there's also a tamale. Here's the problem.
Oh,
I keep
God.
thinking of new ones. Yeah,
Okay,
I don't.
please
Okay,
just
yeah, I won't. I won't. And instead, I will tell you, folks, about another elixir to cure all your problems. And this is Scott's Emulsion. Folks, a plump child is always interesting and admired, just as an unhealthy or rickety child inspires a pity and commiseration. Good nutrition, fundamental for children's good health and robustness and well-being. Slimness in children is caused by either inability of their weak stomachs to digest fat in most foods, or they are not fed the ordinary foods in sufficient quantity. So, bad food or not enough food? This is the problem with your children. But now, in either case, this is a big problem that should be remedied by administering Scott's legitimate emulsion. Made from cod liver oil, the most nutritious fat known to man, reduced to such small globules that children, no matter how enfeebled their digestive functions may be, can still digest and assimilate with amazing ease. It reaches the bloodstream directly, enriching and purifying it. It nourishes and develops living tissue, and it provides phosphorus and calcium salts so necessary for the nourishment and development of strong bones and nerves. It's of such pleasant flavor that children take it as if it were candy. No problems there. Considered and recommended by doctors the world over as the best aid for developing organisms and the most powerful restorative. Disclaimer. Watch out. Scott's legitimate emulsion is the only emulsion that neither separates nor spoils, nor does its white color change. It is the only emulsion that is inalterable. Scott's legitimate emulsion does not burn the mouth, nor fester in the stomach, nor cause diarrhea in children, and it is the only one that doctors prescribe. No bottle is legitimate without our trademark of the man with a fish on his back. Scott and Bone, Chemists, New York.
Says Heckler Radical, this sponsor reminds me that when I went to Costa Rica as a kid, everyone thought my baby brother was cute because he was, quote unquote, like the Gerber baby. I would like to inform everybody, by the way, just we've talked about this on broadcast before. I am a child of Scott's Emulsion.
Aha, very good.
I took it in the regular white, and I took it in orange flavor, which is a thing that exists. And I can tell you something: no one has ever called me slim or rickety, then or now.
And you have the strongest bones and nerves.
I do. I've never broken a bone, or even sprained it. It's very true. Yeah.
Now, did you
yes,
take it as
orange
if it were
flavor.
candy?
Did I what?
Did you take it as if it were candy? Was it as delicious as candy?
No, it wasn't that good. But I will say, for what it could taste like, it was plenty. It was fine. I didn't mind it.
Nice.
I would say it ranked below the vitamin C pills that had like a fruit punch. Not quite fruit punch, but they had like a slight fruity flavor. Definitely ranked below the honey pills that those could not be in the house because I would eat those like candy. The honeys, I think they're called, is what they were.
The ones that are cough drops, like those ones?
Yeah, they come in like a beehive patterned wrapper.
I don't know if I remember that.
Some would have mint flavor, some had honey, and I want to say milk or something else.
Huh. I'm not sure I know what this is. I only had honey cough drops.
Yeah, they were cough drops. They were meant for that, but if they were in the house, I would pop them as if they were, dessert. They were very sweet. And I'm trying to think. Well, and my neighborhood pharmacy back home is a compound pharmacy. So very often they would make the medicine to spec from the doctor.
Oh, yeah. And let you choose the flavor?
Yep, exactly.
Very good.
So here we are in the top of the fourth. And Zacarias Gutierrez threw 58 pitches over 3 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He faces Rob Feaster, who is 1 for 1, thereby bringing his average against Gutierrez to 800. My man is 4 from 5. He had a single back in the first. Yeah, CBS does not let you choose a damn thing. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Cutter is at the knees, 0-1. This is, by the way, this discussion of food and cooking and all this was so good. I'm starting to think maybe we should make that like a regular segment. Like pick an inning to do that.
Yes. I still think we should go into more depth on what they would have served at the ballparks for these games. We discussed pinchos, which are skewers of grilled meats, which sounds delicious and perfect for a ballpark. But I'm sure we can come up with all kinds of things.
Low and inside with the fastball. When I went in Naguabo, they would almost certainly serve pastelillo de chapin. Chapin is a type of fish.
Oh, okay.
Sinker is in there. At the knees, strike 2. Although it's possible chapin would have been fished more heavily in this reality because Naguabo is kind of the smuggling port on the east of the island. It wasn't the main one. That probably, I want to say, well, it wasn't Arroyo. Arroyo's where the Puerto Rican Navy was headquartered. But it was probably the best port there. Fajardo, I think, was the main port there. But Naguabo was kind of this, they basically got like special license to be the main port for certain things. And that's what that's why the Navegadores suddenly had money in the 20th century when they didn't before.
Yeah, there's big business in being a port city.
Exactly. So I don't know if Chapin would have been a little bit more fished than in our reality, but that is very typical of there. Then
I wonder if
in
cod.
Juncos,
I wonder if cod was fished in the Caribbean. I am not sure, but Atlantic cod was a huge industry until they fished too much and they had to stop
yeah.
getting so much cod.
And with so many people of Spanish extraction, I mean, the cod is going to be, bacalao is going to be
Yeah,
an expected food.
yeah, that'd be good for a ballpark too. Crunchy little cakes.
Feaster watches that cutter miss away 2-2. I would also imagine, I don't think the quesito had been invented yet, as Feaster lances that one foul. Last time, of course, he had that infield single, 2-2.
Is that the pastry? Little pastry?
Yes, the cream cheese and rolled in puff pastry, and then sometimes covered in like a sugar syrup.
Delicious.
Blown away with the fastball, another full count for Gutierrez, who is at 64 pitches, and this will be a payoff pitch. Feaster, one of the many Navegadores acquired via trade, in his case from the Cañeros, as he lances that one into left field. Richardson this time has it. So at least it's a long at bat, but he flies off a sinker that would have been ball four, unfortunately. Here comes Benji Valdez with one out and no one on. He is 0 for 1 on the day. He got beat last time as he went down on strikes. The cutter misses away, 1-0. We will also say, if you are interested in joining up on the Ko-Fi, right now we're obviously in mid-season, as that sinker misses inside. So you might want to wait until we're in the off-season and your man can test the market more freely. But I will say this, teams are always looking for guys to sign. So if your player's good enough, they'll pick him up. Hell, the other day, the Hechiceros de Guayama, they're leading their division. They had no idea that they would find themselves in that position. And as soon as they did, they kind of went into overdrive, figuring out, what do we do to stay in the lead? And they went out and purchased the contract of a guy named Grant Johnson from the League of the Great Lakes. Grant Johnson is a person in this reality as well. He's from Findlay, Ohio. He played in the Negro Leagues, and he was pretty great. His nickname was Home Run Johnson. And he is now the best player on the Hechiceros.
Nice. So he was worth going after.
Absolutely. And for the price, I think you have to pay him basically the minimum. Well, you pay the team that you got him from minimum salary. So
Oh, wow.
missing with a sinker, 3-1. And then I don't know what he's getting paid. I don't know if he's on minor league contract or what. Valdez watches that and draws the walk. Fourth walk for Zacarias Gutierrez with a man on and one out. Here comes Declan Milne. And I think Valdez is going to try to make it tough on him on the base paths there. Yeah, especially in a year where the home run suddenly seems to be exploding all over the place. The current LMP leader is on track for something like 45 to 50 homers, which is nuts. Last year's was 35, and that was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't weird. There's already been a guy who hit 35, but it was weird because that guy could actually hit the ball and not strike out. Yes, in 1905. They must have messed with the baseball. You know what it is Puerto Rican pitchers are used to throwing these like very slow breaking balls and so on. Came the Canadians, who taught them how to throw these straight on fastballs, and then all the Canadians are like big lumberjack dudes who just hit ball, it goes far, right? That combination, Puerto Ricans trying to learn to throw harder, faster, but then also not throw breakers. They're trying to throw straight on. So you get that, plus a bunch of dudes who are built out of cordwood and can hit a ball 430 feet, like, by blinking. So, that combo, home runs everywhere.
And that's where the nickname for a home run hitter came from.
It is Boucheron, Canadian for lumberjack. Well, French for lumberjack, but...
Yes, but they are Canadian.
Yes, they are. In fact, I don't think there are 3 French players. I don't think any of them is any good at hitting homers. Centaur is close. He's hit a few. And then let's see. Right now, ironically, the 2 home run leaders of the 4 top guys in home runs, I think Bob Moulds might be the only Canadian. Julio Rubio is Puerto Rican, and they're the 2 leaders in Betances. And then over in Ostos, Bannon Quinton is Irish, and Jake Getman is Russian.
So maybe the era of the Canadian
The era of the Canadian,
home run hitter is over.
not quite. Most of the guys behind them are Canadian.
Okay, fair.
But yes, it might be more balanced than it used to be, for sure. Man on and one out for Declan Milne. Let's see if Benji Valdez wants to test. Oh, it's a pitch out, and they're going to get him.
Oh, man.
See, this is why you don't go on the first pitch anymore.
Oh, that was so bad. He was out so far away.
Absolutely nailed. Valdez out, and it's 2 outs with none on for Declan Milne to figure something out now. He's over 1 on the day, and he's 1-0 on the count. As that fastball misses low, 2-0. Milne fouls that one off after it had almost gone past him, which is wild. 2-1. That's hit hard, but right to Narvaez. He's making the throw. I have to imagine that's going to get there. And it does. So Milne grounds out to short to end the threat. The inning is over. Naguabo goes down in order.
Boy, I did not expect this game to go this way.
No, neither did I, actually. Now I'm a little bit worried about my prediction. Ted Balloon threw 35 pitches in 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. He will face Derek, Ortiz, and Sanchez. Derek is 0 for 1 on the night. And he goes for the leadoff bunt. Ted Balloon scooping it up, throws to first, and that's 1 pitch and 1 out there. I mean, it was a daring move from Derek, who I think is still considered quite a good bunter. Indeed, he is.
Yeah, it really went bad if it's going to go right back to the pitcher and give him plenty of time.
When you're the leadoff hitter, bunting on the first pitch and bunting it right back to the pitcher is just brutal.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Amerigo Ortiz is next. He is 0 for 1. Oh, we're charging. No one on and 1 out.
Charge.
As that fastball is in there for strike 1. That is chopped to Wally Balk. He goes to his left, does the electric slide over there, throws across the hallway, and it's out number 2. Ortiz goes back to the dugout, and here comes Enrico Sanchez, who is 1 for 1 on the day, 1 of the 2 hits Ted has allowed. Just you wait, he's going to allow another hit, and by that I mean he's going to plunk a guy.
He's calling that allowing a hit now to feel better about it.
This is not a joke, by the way. Ted Balloon has led the league in hit batsmen, I think 3 out of the past 4 years.
I think I find it funny because it's such a terrible thing to hit someone with a very fast, heavy baseball.
Yeah. Fork ball, 1-1. Granted, he usually hits them with like the fork ball, which is a little bit slower, but yes.
That's true.
Fastball, called strike. Let's see if he'll finish him off here. Plus, I'm going to be honest with you, and I know I'm being mean to my own player here, but if I had to pitch when Pablo Salmeron was catching, I would also probably be mad enough to hit a guy.
Oh, no.
As he misses low with that curveball, 2-2. Some of these would be getting called strikes if that's Stonehand back there. That's what I'm trying to say. As Valdez gets there, throws to first, and that is out number 3.
Nice,
so
that's
we are
what you're doing.
4. We stay scoreless.
That was a good half inning there, right there.
Yes, it was. See, Ted, some of you, if you're not used to watching a Ted game, the very first game we broadcast this season, Ted is the only pitcher we have that's a creative player, so we always try to have him on. And the very first game of the season, he pitched opening day, and he pitched the complete game shutout, 14 strikeouts. He was awesome. And it really looked like this was the year he was going to compete for Excelentissimo, which is the Cy Young equivalent here. And then June happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he just fell apart.
Yeah. It's just really a shame. We were so sure. He turned it around. But he loves to hit a guy. I'm telling you, that's his center. He comes back to that every time.
That's sort of his meditative practice, yeah. There
Remember that player who got hit in the butt a couple years ago? Man, that was funny.
The catcher? Yeah. That was
Oh
well.
man.
He was a batter. Yes, you're right. But I believe that was catcher Sean Murphy,
Okay.
the current most Irish man in baseball.
That's
The
a hotly contested title.
Well, before him it was John Ryan Murphy, so
Hmm.
who was a Rochester Red Wings legend for a while there.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. I loved going to games where he was playing because he was not good. His main thing was really working with the pitchers, and he was supposedly very good at managing a game and like training pitchers and all that. But
Hmm.
the funniest bit, pardon me, but the funniest bit to me, um, is that uh, they have a corned beef eating contest to decide the title each year.
No, that'd
Uh,
be great.
But the funniest part to me is that Red Wings fans would always, every single time he went up, even if he was 0 for 4, even if he'd struck out on like the worst pitch you've ever seen, 4 times that game, they were always cheering him on in a way they didn't do for any other player. And it's like, we get it, he's white.
Nah, yeah. You hate to see it.
It's fine. He seemed like a nice guy. Not his fault.
True.
Just like it's not Sean Murphy's fault that he's that caked up. Those are genes, man.
Oh boy.
Top of the fifth, Underwood, Salmeron, and De Castillo have a chance here against Gutierrez, who is through 4 innings on 74 pitches. He's allowed 2 hits. He's got 4 walks on the line and 3 strikeouts. I want to find out. So he's got 73. Okay, he does pretty regularly strike out 3 guys. That's not rare for him. I was wondering if he was one of these dudes who has like a couple 10 strikeout games and then otherwise sucks, but he can be counted on for a few. Underwood is 0 for 1 on the day. And let's hope he
Ham.
doesn't swing at the first pitch because he's not hitting well when he does that.
Ham.
Come on, Graham. Smoke one.
Yeah, there we go.
Sinker misses low, 1-0. And that fastball is just high enough to get called strike one.
Ugh.
That's a tough. Well, it's a fastball, but. Oh, lances that one foul and tries to run it down. That's not going to happen. 1-2. He's at 2 strikes. Let's see what Gutierrez reaches in for. He's thrown the sinker and the fastball. Maybe the cutter. This is just evidence from MLB The Show, so it shouldn't be taken as baseball advice. But I found that as a right-handed pitcher going against lefties, cutter up and in was usually the way to go.
Okay.
Let's see if that's what happens here. Well, he did throw a cutter.
Ah.
It was up. It
Okay.
was middle and away, and he fouled it off.
Looks like he fouled it off the catcher's body, is what it looks like.
Yeah, he really hates Daniel Lopez back there. Just very angry man. And he goes down on strikes.
No!
Sinker away. 1 out, no one on for Pablo Salmeron, who is over 1. You will recall last time he grounded out on the first pitch like a dingus.
You have to like this guy better. He's your special guy.
I wish I did. I liked him better when he could hit.
Yeah.
Cutter misses low, ball 1. 237 is just pitiful for this guy. He's supposed to be one of the most talented hitters in the league. Sinker, right on, ladled on top of that cutter, and it's strike 1. Evens account. Misses low with a sinker again, 2-1. Oh, he got that one past the infield. It's a base hit for
Nice.
Rodillon as he makes it to first, despite my lack of faith in him.
He had to prove you wrong.
As Framber Valdez's World Series Game 6 cleat said, "Poor you who did not believe.
Nice.
Pobre de ti que no creíste." Cut her up and in out of the zone to a righty as a lefty also works, but I usually throw a sinker in on the hands because I live dangerously. Oh boy. Man on first with 1 out. Frank, the lineup turns over, and let's see what this third time through the lineup penalty is good for here. Frank de Castillo is 1 for 2 on the day. Would be nice to hit a triple here, Frank. The cutter
I would
is
say.
once again not in the zone.
Ugh.
0-1. Umpire's got a bet on this.
And I would
Your
say,
favorite
if
your favorite baseball player, who did I mention as he fouls that one off?
I have no idea. I was gonna
Oh,
say, if you're saying as a lefty, meaning you are a lefty, you should know that the booth here are both lefties as well.
and Frank just went down swinging. That's his 40. Oh, really? Are you an Astros fan in general? Or just a Fromber guy? As he goes down on strikes for the 40th time this season. Dear Lord.
I always like this name because framboise is the French
Mm-hmm.
word for raspberries. I think that's great.
Yeah. Louisa does not have an MLB team, really, when it comes down to it. But I am a Houstonian in law, so Framber Valdez he's my guy. I actually saw those cleats in the Hall of Fame a couple of years ago when they were on tour there. So that was pretty big. Actually, I think those are part of the permanent collection, but we got to take a picture with the trophy and whatnot.
I will say, I only know about the MLB through my co-host's love of the Astros. So I will probably say my favorite player is Jose Altuve, who does amazing work, and he wears number 27, which is the number I have given to my special boy, Graham. So that's a good number. Lucky.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if anybody's wearing 17 right now for the Astros. Last guy I remember wearing it was Odorizzi, who was not great, but
Uh,
he tried. He tried real hard. God knows. And because he was Odo, we started calling him the Constable.
nice.
And at one point, the guy who would relieve him was Hector Neris. So,
Pretty good.
uh Salmeron is on first with 2 outs for Sherdlou after Frank de Castillo ignominiously went down swinging on a fastball outside the zone.
Wow.
I think Zacarias Gutierrez might be what they call in the baseball business effectively wild. He's unpredictable, so guys swing at pitches they shouldn't, things like that. Watch pitches that they could swing at.
That's where I want Ted to end up, not hitting guys, but being effectively wild.
Exactly. Sherdlou on one. Well, he was for the first part of the year. Then he just kind of got terrible
Yeah,
at it.
I know.
As that is fouled off. Framber Valdez once handed a baseball under the netting to the guys in the row in front of me who'd been standing up every single play so I couldn't see. Lol. Crying face.
Aw.
Great. He's such a nice guy. 0-2. And a triumph of mental health care. That's the best part. Fastball inside, 1-2. Trying to remember who the first LP team to employ a therapist was. I don't remember right now. I know it started happening in like the 30s, 40s era.
I was gonna say, I feel
That
like
kind
with
of
all
was
that
very low.
brain science stuff in the 20s and 30s, you'd have a team do that then, and they'd be like, I know it sounds crazy, everybody, but this is our strategy.
Sherdlou sends that one foul. Being the first team to employ a vibes coach. I gotta tell you, this is a very effective 91 pitch outing to not have gone past, to be scoreless and not have gone past the fifth inning. We are not sending Salmeron to third base. I'm sorry.
Oh dear.
He is a terrible runner. But that will put 2 on with 2 outs for Vidal Santiago, who is over 2. So let's see what's going to happen here. Gutierrez, I keep trying to call him Guijarro. That's a different pitcher. On 92 pitches here. Let's see if Santiago can get to him. Santiago watches that fastball miss inside, 1-0. And that sinker misses, 2-0. Sinker misses again. It's a hitter's count with 2 on and 2 outs. If Gutierrez doesn't start throwing into...
I can't believe those all count as balls rather than strikes.
That is a good point. Maybe there's a makeup call element here. Yeah, being open about mental health is how I became a fan of Framber Valdez. Lol, I am not mad about the baseball. It's one of those poetic jokes that's like, well, objectively, this is funny. Yeah. For a second, I didn't notice that you said the baseball and that you meant the baseball that he gave to those guys, and I thought you just meant about baseball. Like when he allows, 6 runs because he stopped listening to his catcher or whatever. I was like, I mean, objectively, that is also funny. Just sucks we have to go through it. The market inefficiency back in the day would have been um, uh, basically
Diagnosing?
diagnosing, I guess, yeah, your players for ADHD. Thank you for figuring that out. My mind was just like, ironically, I think my ADHD brain, my own ADHD brain, was just like slipping a gear there. 3-1 count. I could hear
Yeah,
the caught. Mm-hmm.
if your players can't.
Whoa! Here we go, Santiago! Lines one up the middle! And I don't even think I'm going to get the choice to run on my own home. All right, bases will be loaded with 2 outs.
Okay. Ooh, it's tough.
All right, before we go on, say your piece.
If you had problems with your players not being able to focus, they just need some new brain or nerve tonics, obviously, at the time.
Yes, that is true. And we might even have one of those that is we might even have one of those nerve tonics down the line. I don't remember which commercials I translated.
Yeah, good point.
Cowardly hold by the third base coach. Yeah. Bracamonte sometimes he comes up with some weird sense sometimes, but he's usually pretty conservative. Wally Balk, he's over 1 on the day. Can he redeem himself here as he so far has just had the walk to his name? Ooh, Gutierrez is not screwing around. He throws one right down the middle for strike 1, and Balk, not expecting it, doesn't swing. Oh my god. Okay, foul. For a second I thought that was a pop-up. Sands down the right field line. It's Gutierrez once again in the position where he just needs one more strike to wrap this up. He got the strike last time, and Wally Balk so far in this season has 9 at-bats with the bases loaded, has not yet gotten a hit. After he fouls off that cutter, let's see. Oh my god, he got him! A sinker out of the zone, and the side is retired. Naguabo for the second time. And this time on 3 hits. Those weren't walks. They didn't take advantage of the pitcher. They got on via their own bats and stranded the bases loaded.
Ugh.
Ted, currently, you have to imagine, the angriest man in the entire municipality of Juncos, walks out to the mound here in the bottom of the 5th. He's over 4 innings, 43 pitches, 2 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and he's about to face Enrique Marave, who in July, to be fair, is hitting .368 so far. He's over 1 on the day, though. Let's see if Ted can keep him off the base paths. Let's see, he gets a strike call on the changeup. Oh, because that's where the umpire doesn't see right. Did he just finally figure out he can throw there? Is that what's going on? Hey, C. Seiler. Oh, good, you're here. We need you. The Navegadores are... So far, they've stranded the bases loaded twice. As he misses inside with a fastball. Nearly clipped him. You're right. There he goes. He's getting back to his roots here.
Oh, man. Right at crotch height, you hate to see it.
I'm going to say 45 pitches. Yeah, he's going to... He's that mad. Well, there's that time you, Darvish, hit the umpire, the player, and the catcher in the nuts. So...
No.
The triple kill.
Wow. That's impressive.
Sure is. He's a beautiful man. Anyway. How many pitches? So he said 45 pitches. Let's make a prediction right now. By which pitch do you think he's going to hit someone? Like, what
50.
pitch count? You think 50 within the next 5 pitches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, just for fun, I'm going to go 65.
Okay.
Watch this be the next pitch. He really is trying. He misses low and inside with another fastball, 201. What are you doing?
Ted, come on. Ted?
Why is he so afraid of them? Forkball low, 3-1. Maravé chops that one. It goes to Valdez. He's got it. Makes the throw. And it's an out.
Nice.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Next up is our friend Matt Richardson, who is 0 for 1 on the day. Last year, in extremely limited duty, he just hit 32 times. Hit 344.
Wow, pretty good.
Heckler Radical, Yu Darvish will always be a king to me for the bit on his Wikipedia page. Like, as a prospect in Japan, he was caught in a pachinko parlor, cutting class on an off day, smoking and playing pachinko underage. Like, smoking is bad, but that's classic.
Yes.
By the way, in case you haven't picked up on it, his name is Yu Darvish. He is Japanese Iranian.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like he could be in the LNP.
And he's incredibly handsome. Curveball misses low, 1-0. As that fastball is in there for a strike, 1-1. Oh, I thought I hit the continue and it just hadn't taken. Forkball inside. You don't have anybody on base. These are not good hitters. Come on, man. Is that a ball too? Yep. Yes, it is. 3-1. Wasting. Hey, he just passed pitch 52 and he hasn't hit anybody yet.
Yeah,
Richardson pops that one up. Sherdloo is going for it and he's got it. Out number 2. Well, don't worry, because if he gets to 65 in this inning and doesn't hit anybody, we reset the bet next time.
Okay.
Or we can reset the bet, period. I don't care. Daniel Lopez up next. He drew a walk last time because Ted decided to be a coward. Bases empty and 2 outs. Lopez fouls off that forkball, 0-1. Called strike on the curveball. Let's see if he'll finish him off. Ted has only 2 strikeouts on the day. He would certainly like to increase that number. As he lines that one, you have got to be kidding me.
What? It looks like he just let that go by.
He did. Underwood will pick it up, and Lopez will have a single, so this inning is extended. Philly says he'll make it to the bullpen. He's at almost 5 innings on 56 pitches. There might not need... Unless this stays scoreless, there might not be a need for the bullpen.
Now, that's interesting that you would say that, considering you don't often have a lot of faith in Ted to finish a game.
I don't, but he's done okay the last couple times, so there is that.
Okay.
Yu Darvish also posted something recently like Yusei Kikuchi came over and got way too drunk and couldn't figure out how to get an Uber back to a hotel after dinner, so I let him stay over. Pick posted with Yusei's permission. The pick is Kikuchi on the floor, passed out like he's in a cartoon.
Pretty
Great.
good.
Awesome. Oh, Yusei. Alright, man on first with 2 outs for Germán Narvaez, who is 0 for 2 on the day. You know what I don't remember is... Oh yeah, Kikuchi went to the Angels. Wild. Narvaez lined out last time, as that forkball is in there for a strike. That is swung on, and Sherdloo's turn to catch a line drive up the middle. That'll retire the side, so they'll get the hit, and that's it, and we're through 5.
Oh, man, I'm getting nervous. I don't like it.
I'm trying to remember...
Score.
Of all, not to make like. I would rather be like ELO and not bring anybody down.
Okay.
Yeah. Revel in it. You did this. This is your fault. Anyway, but I'm trying to remember how there's one particular article written by a guy who was just dead wrong about the Iraq War.
Okay.
And I think he started by saying, the first thing to say is, I didn't think it would be this hard. And that's all I'm thinking of right now.
It's an interesting parallel you're drawing, okay.
Well, I did just listen to Blowback, like an hour and a half before broadcast. Well,
Fair.
An hour before broadcasting this. We've been at this for a while.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, I also just absolutely did not expect the score to be 0-0 going into the 6th.
That is beyond wild.
Yeah.
It's I don't recognize this team.
Yeah.
Like they have done this. That's the weird bit. They've had some games, but not against teams as bad as the Valencianos. That's the
Yeah, that's the
part
weird
that's
thing.
blowing my mind.
Yeah, not only that they are not getting through, I mean, I guess they are getting through the innings safely on that side when they're playing defensively, but the Valencianos are not letting them score. How are you letting this team stop you from scoring?
That's the weird bit. Yes. Normally, this happens when they face a team that can strike out a bunch of guys very easily. They've got a great strikeout pitcher. That's kind of not the case this time, and yet there he is. So I don't know. What I will tell you is that Rob Feaster is, as far as I know, not in the lead for stolen bases with only 68.
So close to being nice.
I know, but he is 1 for 2 on the day, and he'll face Zacarias Gutierrez, who is through 5 innings on exactly 100 pitches, 5 hits, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Hecloretical says they heard you were talking crap. Clearly,
Yeah.
no one has ever heard I was talking crap more. As that sinker is in there for a strike, and it's not even a dubious call. It is a straight up strike, 0-1. Feaster swings through the next one, and suddenly he's just got them dominated. How long could they
Jeez.
stand there? 0-2. Great question. Apparently, till Kingdom Come.
Rob.
That sinker
Come on.
misses. It's 1-2. Last time, of course, he swung at what would have been ball 4, and he almost just swung at ball 2.
Wow.
Saved by a check swing call from the umpire, 2-2. Feaster swings on that one, sends it foul, so we'll stay at 2-2.
Oh, man. He is so thirsty to get a hit.
Thank God for Gentleman's Point, man. For those of you not in the know, Gentleman's Point is past the infield. You outfielders in this time apparently just let foul balls drop out of some sense of like sportsmanship.
Yeah. And we've seen just a couple times in all these games, a couple times a guy has run across the line to catch the ball, and it is shocking.
On this count, 2-2, Rob Feaster is hitting 118.
Wow.
Something about 2 balls and 2 strikes, and there he goes again.
Ugh, boy.
7th strikeout for Gutierrez, and Feaster doesn't like the call, but he can suck it because that was a strike.
Yeah, you have to marinate it in it now, Feaster.
Here comes Benigno Valdez. Benji is 0-for-1 on the day. He drew a walk back in the 4th inning. 1 out and the bases remain empty as Valdez swings and misses at a fastball, 0-1. Are you finding yourself getting as angry at this team as I'm getting?
Yeah, because this is an easy win for them, handed to them on a plate, and they've just swatted it to the floor.
That's right. Fastball misses low. Gutierrez has lowered his ERA by 10 ticks this game.
Jeez.
Misses low with that sinker, 2-1. Gutierrez did especially hear me talking shit. Entirely
He
correct.
really did. Man.
Sinker is in there for a strike, 2-2. It would be very funny if this ends up being like his 15-strike game. As Valdez sends that one curving away from Derek and into right field, and maybe this time it'll happen. Maybe this time he'll remember not to steal on the first pitch.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't bet on that.
Neither would I. Declan Milne is 0-for-2 on the day. Let's see what's going to happen here. Gutierrez on 111 pitches. As he attempts a pickoff, Valdez gets back easily. Corners playing in as if I would bunt.
Yeah, there we go.
Lopez can't get the
it.
pitch out of his glove, and Valdez easily steals second. He's now 48-18 on stolen base attempts. 1-0 count, man on second, 1 out. Finally, we have a crispy rispy. Let's see what Declan Milne can do with it. This is about to get interesting. But Benji Valdez going for third.
What the heck? Oh, no.
Apparently, he did not get caught.
What? It sure looked like he got caught.
It sure did. Let's watch the
Wow.
replay. There goes the ball. And yeah, it would sure seem like it reaches the base before he does.
Jeez. Maybe
I think the third
he wasn't on
baseman,
base.
the
Yeah.
third baseman didn't have his foot on the bag, and I think didn't tag
Yeah.
him in time. Is what happened.
Makes sense.
Anyway, that puts him 90 feet away to finally score a run in this game. Can Declan Milne do that?
Mm.
At the knees with cutters, strike 2. Let's see if Milne goes down swinging. To get in the baseball mood, I'm watching without my glasses, also known as ump mode. And I was super confused for a bit on where that ball mouse was going without anyone chasing it.
Okay. Thank you, Philly, because my co-host here.
Uh-huh.
Every time I say, "Can you move that mouse pointer off the screen?" I get a reaction like I am being the pickiest person in the entire world, and I cannot stand when you can see the mouse.
That is absolutely fair. I don't know why. I don't know why the cursor is so persistent. I guess because I'm usually trying. I do have my. I want to say I have my touchpad turned off, so it should.
You're always clicking around. You're always looking at guys' stats or other games
True.
or stuff. You're always interacting.
1-2 count. Latest foul possible on that cutter. We stay at 1-2. What did I say? What did I say?
Oh man! Oh, I'm so
Oh, bother! I want to remind you, he has managed 8 strikeouts. 8 strikeouts without throwing a single breaking ball. No curveball, no slider, no changeup. It's just been a fastball and 2 versions of a fastball.
Is he playing so simply that he's just short-circuiting everyone's mind about it?
Apparently.
Amazing.
But with 2 outs and a man on third, here comes Graham Underwood, who is 0 for 2 on the day. Can he bring home that run? Can he do it? Can he do it? We're about to find out. I was actually saying earlier in my workplace, the way my classroom used to be set up, I taught the projector screen that my computer screen would be on was opposite from my desk instead of next to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all the way across the classroom. And I couldn't find the cursor a lot of the time.
From standing all the way at the other end of the room, you mean?
Exactly. So what I did was I just made the cursor huge and bright pink or light blue. And I got made so much fun of the entire year about that. Adults, children, everything in between.
Terrible.
Yeah.
What's society coming to?
2 outs and a man on third. Sinker misses outside, 1-0. Let's see. Come on, Ham. You can do this. Sinker misses low, 2-0.
Man, you better do this.
That's a strike. Sinker is in there. It's a bit away. I don't think that would have been a good pitch to swing at anyway, so I get it, but
I don't know. It seemed pretty good to me compared to the other two, at least.
my work computer, I keep the size of the start button in purple. There goes Underwood, and that is a jump grab from Narvaez to get the line drive. Otherwise, that run comes home
How?
in plenty of time.
How did this happen?
This game is cursed. Well, we say cursed, but really it's blessed with amazing defense.
Yeah.
In the bottom of the
We don't
sixth.
like to see it, though.
No, we don't. Ted Balloon, 5 innings, 58 pitches, 3 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Benedicto Varela is 1 for 1 on the day, even though in July he is in fact hitting 194.
Oof.
Seiler says, I am clearly not helping yet. Yeah, fair enough. Hits the foul to a backstop, 0-1. Don't even remember what pitch that was. And that is...
What?
That's another jumping grab there. What is happening in this game?
Amazing.
I don't think I've ever seen 4 of those in the same game.
Just plucked it right out of the air like an apple off a tree.
That's right. Pablo Benavides, 0 for 2 on the day. Swinging a 0.27 batting average on the first pitch. So Balloon throws a changeup in there. Says Philly, they all really practiced this week, clearly. The only thing they practiced, as he
Yeah.
does not go on the fastball inside 1-1, which is weird because that fastball inside should have been a strike based on where it was hit. That's ripped. That is
Wait, what happened
nubbed
there?
right in front of the catcher.
Huh. Did it hit
He
the
hit it,
ground?
but really badly.
Oh, I see.
Sideman grabs it, throws to first, and it's out number 2. And here comes double duty Derek, hitting 0-2 on the day. 0 for 2, pardon me. Base is empty and 2 outs. As he misses with the changeup low, 1-0. That's a strike. Oh, that's an interesting call on that side of the zone. Maybe the umpire moved.
Yeah.
Got yelled at by coach. That's extra good. Yep. The Navegadores are supposed to be the best fielding team in the league. This year they are, but the gap is much narrower than it used to be. A lot of teams figured out that they really liked having a defensive wizard at shortstop, for example, even if he wasn't any good at hitting. The Guardacostas might be about to punch their first ticket ever to the playoffs in their entire existence, and part of the reason why is they've got Francois Bellet at shortstop. He can't hit his way out of a paper bag, but he is a wizard on the field. Like when I say that the other day, the way he managed to get a run scored was by getting plunked with the bases loaded.
Man.
2-1 count. Got him to swing a miss on that curveball, 2-2. Personally, I think if you get plunked, it should be 2 runs that score.
Yeah.
Really, really punish pitching inside with the bases loaded. 2-2 count. He swings on that one, lifts it to right field. That should get called foul, but it's Frank out there, so who knows?
That almost hit the wall.
It seems to have clipped through it, in fact.
Into the Twilight Zone.
Ooh. Derek, in a good at-bat here, as that changeup just barely misses, and it's a full count. This will be a payoff pitch. Ted Balloon's 70 pitches to try and close out this inning.
Woo.
Got him! Nabs
right.
him with an expanded fastball away, and Ted is on 3 strikeouts for the night. You know how embarrassing it's got to be that Ted is on 3 strikeouts and his opposing pitcher is on 8?
Yeah. Yes.
Unbelievable. I hope he's mad. I hope he's mad.
Yeah, he needs to stew in that and then get back and do something with it. Although, really, we need to see we need a morsel of run hitting. Just somebody has to hit at least one.
Yes, we are currently Dickensian orphans when it comes to scores in this game. Where we're just looking through the. In fact, why don't we restore the out of town scoreboard to see to look through the window at what other teams are enjoying, so that we can see what the Lord has done for other people and we can wish that for ourselves. But as we do all of that, we need one more word. Please, please. Our Lady of Providence, let it be the last word we need from our sponsors.
Hopefully. Well, folks, changing tactics a little bit, you have plenty of potions and elixirs in your body now. I want to tell you about Salvador Alcina's Golden Niceties. This is a special shop that offers military equipment and a full assortment of sabers, swords, badges for officers of the Army and Navy, medals and decorations, insignia for revenue and telegraph officers, coats of arms, kepis, cockades, and Teresian caps, regulation headgear for the Merchant Marine, Capitoline Guard, and other departments and offices of the insular government, wool patches depicting coats of arms for flags, assortment of sheet music, and it is located in Plaza General Rojas, Puerto Rico. I feel like you have all you need to start your own parade in this one establishment. I don't know why you need to start a parade, but if you do, No one will question you. You will seem so official.
Ay, miles gloriosos, I slaughterer of thousands. Man, looking at these teams, I'm just green with envy. 6-0, 6-4, eight
Mhm.
four,
Yeah,
4-2, 1-1,
exciting.
10-2. That's a
Amazing.
score from yesterday's game. Of
It's so
course.
good they had to show it again.
Of
Oh
course.
no, the Reyes are not doing so good.
No, they're not. They're back to being out of the wild card race, and honestly, they deserve it. They didn't go after
God.
a single good pitcher. They don't have anybody in the pipeline. They basically said, "Yeah, we have a Welsh right fielder who can hit the hell out of a ball, and the guy who just won the batting title last year. We're fine. We don't need to upgrade. Never mind
Oh
that
man.
our defense can be best described as effortless, and not in a good way."
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Has anybody hit a homer that I want to talk about so far?
There's some boring games like ours.
Well, those haven't started yet.
Ugh. And we're doing no better than a game that hasn't started yet.
Correct. Lindsey Lilly, the Colonel, hit his 12th homer of the season.
The Colonel, he's so young.
He's 38.
Oh, he looks so young.
He does. That's what baseball will do for you, I guess. Maybe he just
That's
doesn't smoke.
That's how you end up in the cornfield.
All right, here we go. Top of the seventh, Zacarias Gutierrez, whose name I am always going to remember now. 120 pitches over 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. And he faces Pablo Salmeron, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Here goes nothing. As Salmeron lines that one, but it is fouled down the third baseline. That was a cutter, 0-1. Eugenio Garcia would not have swung at the first pitch like that, Pablo. Salmeron watches that fastball miss low, 1-1. Last time we were on the stream, Pablito hit his 4th homer of the year, I believe. I want
Yeah.
to say it was his 4th. It may have been his 3rd. I don't remember. May even have been his 5th. I definitely don't remember. Cutter,
It was great.
way up and in. A little bit of chin music there after he had that single back in the 5th inning. Gutierrez. As he nubs that one right back to the pitcher.
Aw, so good.
I'm really not. I'm really starting to hate the number of mirror images we're seeing in this game. There's a real "we're not so different, you and I" energy. You suck, I suck.
Hmm.
Frank De Castillo coming up. He's 1 for 3 on the day, and Frank just had a 5-hit game yesterday against this team.
Come on, Frank.
1
Come
out,
on,
bases
Frank.
empty.
Now's the time.
Frank De Castillo went down swinging last time, unbelievably. And this time, starts out with a called strike on the sinker. 0-1. Unbelievable. Sinker misses low, 1-1. Have you noticed that Gutierrez also stopped walking people? Like, suddenly they just got bad at taking the walk? As
Yeah.
that is going to land! Richardson
All right.
on 41-year-old legs. Couldn't quite get there in time. It'll be a base hit. But now he actually has to... Wait, what's this now? Just read the post poll about drinkable mayo. Louisa, is this your fault?
Yes.
Great.
It's very good, and I would drink the mayo, and we all know that I would.
Yeah,
How about
we all-
yourself?
Um,
You can
this
say
is a
no.
product. This is a product that exists. Is what you're telling me?
Yes. Yes. I want to say Japan, but it might have been somewhere else in Asia. But it is a drinkable mayonnaise. It's probably a gimmick, but would you try it?
But it's literally just egg and oil, like mayonnaise is supposed to be.
Yes, and there's a dairy in there as well. I know there's no dairy really in mayo, but there is in this. I don't
No,
remember the
no,
name.
no, no,
No?
no, no. If
All
it's
right.
if it's too cowardly to even be a true mayo that's drinkable. I mean, I say this. Drinking it is one thing. I do routinely eat just like a straight up spoonful of mayo if I'm putting in something. So, Heckler
Yeah, you
Radical
have to.
says, my phone is about to die, but NGO pulling for Gutierrez on this was shuffled out of the ballpark early for the evening. Well, thank you for joining us. This was a lot of fun. Hope you're back next Friday. Hope we're back next Friday. And yeah, catch the. We'll have this in video on demand, so you'll get to find out how it ends. Probably
Mhm.
tomorrow morning. I have a little bit more work to do than usual because I gotta make the poster for it, but I'll get that done quick. And have a good night. Anyway, it's one out, one on, with Shirley at the bat. As there's a pickoff attempt. Shirley's 1 for 1. He's also had some walks. As De Castillo doesn't go on the cutter strike, 0-1. He does go on that one, and I don't think... Is he going to get caught? No!
Whoa!
Not in
Okay,
time.
right.
Castillo steals base number 61. But
Now we're cooking.
But Shirley is on 2 strikes, so now he's got to protect the plate and try to get on base. 0-2 for him.
He can do this.
That misses high. Ball 1 with a sinker. 1-2. Ooh, something's about to happen, and I don't know what it is. Shirley lines that one into center field. Marave waiting for it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And De Castillo cannot run to third.
Buh.
Here comes Vidal Santiago, who is 1 for 3 on the day. Man on second and 2 outs. Let's see if he can do any better. Shirley just got way too under that fat. Are you kidding me?
Well,
We are through 6.5. That fastball low is just doing wonders for Gutierrez. They're all getting underneath it. That's what happened to Shirley. He was out of the zone when he swung at that. So Ted, once again, this time on 71 pitches over 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, gets to face Ortiz, Sanchez, and Marave. Ortiz is 0-2 on the day. How high was that? Ugh. Higher than I need to be to find that acceptable, I'll say that. He does not swing on the curveball, and Ted does not get the call. 1-0. Ted definitely misses with that curveball. 2-0. What do you think? Should we get a guy in the bullpen just to make Ted mad?
yes.
Smart.
He needs
Fastball
to
out
have
there.
the fear in his heart that he sees another guy warming up.
Let's see. Who are we going to put? We're going to put Big Jack Catole.
Nice.
And we're also going to put new trade acquisition, Chet Hancock.
Ooh.
Which
That's
sounds
fun name.
sounds like a fake name Norm Macdonald, as Burt Reynolds would put on there.
I was gonna say it sounds like a character who could be on like Yellowstone or something, right?
Yes. This is the second week in a row you've brought up Yellowstone on the broadcast. Is there something you need to share with the class?
I am fascinated by this show, which apparently is catnip to baby boomers because it's very successful. But you never hear anybody else talking about it. But you see little bits of the culture everywhere, and I've heard that there are like many official and expensive Halloween costumes based on the show. They have their own line of frozen dinners. I'm fascinated by the phenomenon of it.
The frozen dinners is very interesting. I did not know about
Yeah.
that. The costumes, it's fake. Well, it's not fake cowboys, but it's like, ranchers who are also part of the upper class. Like, it's not that hard.
I
And
mean, it is kind of fake cowboys, isn't it?
who apparently kill people. I mean, Ken Costner is not a real cowboy. Yes, you are correct.
No matter how much he wants to be.
Rob Feaster catches that one. That was a nice play. Look at that. 4-star play from Rob Feaster there. Ortiz hit that one at 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
And there goes Ted to cover it. Feaster just flips him the ball, and boom. Philly says, can't attest it's boomer bait.
That does seem correct.
Things that are, you're right. Yellowstone is the reverse mortgage of television.
God.
Arrigo Sanchez is 1 for 2 on the day. 1 out, base is empty. He grounded out to a shortstop back in the 4th. Let's see if they can repeat that success. As that curveball is in there, strike 1. Curveball misses, low and inside, 1-1. Swung on and fouled. Make it 1-2. Let's see if Balloon wants to actually try and get a strikeout here. Perhaps. Strikeout tonight. Nope, but he does send it to Wally. Wally grabs onto it, throws across the hole. You know what I'm amazed is we haven't had a rain delay yet.
Yeah, that is surprising.
2 outs, bases remain empty for Enrique Maravilla, who is over 2, and who, I'm going to be just completely honest here. I'm going to speak my truth. I expect you to
Yep.
hold space for it. The man I most hate in this lineup.
I like that his name has kind of a little bit of a sinister edge to it.
I don't actually know where Maravilla comes from, come to think of it. In there for a strike, 0-1. I'm sorry, can we watch that again? I want you to see when he swings.
Boy, yeah.
What everybody, let's watch that together. Pay attention to when he chooses to swing the bat.
He must be glad there's no instant replay in his time.
Yeah, the instant replay in his own mind would be bad enough.
Yeah.
Inside with a forkball, 1-2. Again! He did it again!
All right.
Strike 3 swinging to retire the side, and the Valencianos go down in order. And we are through 7 innings of scoreless baseball.
Incredible.
Frankly, we can't even say that either team has deserved to score a run yet.
Yeah, they have been doing some great defense. I think both teams have, certainly the Naves, but some terrible offense.
Yeah, this is starting to feel like we're on the Flying Dutchman of baseball.
Yeah, no one can ever leave.
Yeah. You're right. It's the Hotel California of baseball.
Yeah, check out anytime you like.
We haven't had that spirit here since, yesterday, I guess.
1869? Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the point is, the spirit in question is, just scoring a run.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Just literally just scoring a run. That's it. That's all that needs to happen there. Oh my God. See, here's the thing. I do like a tense game like this. This is... There is a part of my brain that is really enjoying this.
Because it just takes one little change in either direction.
It really is going to be, hey, funnily enough, somebody is currently watching Bull Durham.
Yep.
With Ken Costner of Yellowstone.
Yep. We've talked about the candles, but right? I'm upset about when they have sex in the bathtub and they get water all over the candles. You're gonna set your house on fire.
I still think the wildest choice in that entire movie is playing 60 Minute Man during that scene.
How are there guys like Ken Costner who are so born with a silver spoon in their mouth somehow in Hollywood, where they just get everything they want, even though they seem like a mediocre kind of guy, but like everything goes their way for their whole life?
What the hell is Ken Costner's even, like, his story?
I have no idea.
Interesting. Yeah, just he was an electrician and then became a utilities. Check this out. While returning from his honeymoon in Puerto Vallarta, he had a chance encounter with Richard Burton.
Oh.
Amazing.
That
Great.
did it for him? Great.
I guess. Burton told him he should try acting.
So it's Richard Burton's fault, is what you're saying.
Yeah, let's go dig him up. Shake him a little bit, scold him about it. So many baseball movies!
Put him on trial like that one Pope corpse.
Yes. Yeah, Formosus, I believe.
Okay.
All right, Wally Bach, who is over 2 on the day with a walk, comes up against Zacarias Gutierrez, who is through 7 innings on 132 pitches, having allowed 7 hits, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. All of which have been incredible. Like, honestly, the highlight reel for this game, no matter who wins, needs to go to him. Sinker misses, 1-0. And the thing is, normally, this is where we're, as that cutter goes by for called strike 1, this is normally where we put a pinch hitter in just to see what happens. All 3 of ours are either tired or suck right now.
Oh, no.
Or are the pitcher.
Yeah.
1-1 count. That cutter is in there for a strike. Wally, for the love of Pete, do something, please.
Yeah.
Well, okay, he made contact with the ball. That's something. And didn't get out. So we stay at 1-2. Okay, he misses away with a fastball. 2-2. See what he does here. Wally lines that one into center field. Manave's there to catch it.
Oh, man.
It's incredible how all of these balls get weighed down over center field.
Yeah.
To the corners, fine. But if they're going down to center, they're just easy drops.
Yep. They all go
And
so
they pulled
high.
him.
Yeah.
Now pitching for the Valencianos de Juncos, Boanerges Murillo, number 49. Boanerges from the term that our Lord and Savior gave to two of his disciples, the Sons of Thunder.
Aha.
He has pitched 11 innings, 6 strikeouts to no walks, 10 hits, 2 earned runs, ERA of 1.59. Murillo has a fastball, changeup, sinker, and cutter, so this could get interesting. He's facing Rob Feaster.
Why do you think they pulled Gutierrez when he has been doing great? Technically,
He is exhausted.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
They keep pitching him; his arm is going to fall off.
Yeah.
1 out, bases empty. Rob Feaster comes up, who is 1 for 3. Now, granted, we say this, but Murillo has taken a loss, so it is possible to score off of him.
Okay.
Changeup is in there for a strike, 0-1. It is more reason to get the bullpen ready, though. Feaster watches that fastball go by, evens the count, 1-1. And then he swings right through the fastball, 1-2. I'm starting to feel the Valencianos are going to win this one.
Don't say it. Don't say it out loud.
Cutter misses away, 2-2. Well, everything else I've said has so far not come true, so.
All right, fair enough.
Fastball misses, low and side, apparently.
That's when you get in a fight and you do the illegal move where you're holding a baseball in your hand when you punch somebody.
That's a great idea. I'm sure that really helps. I feel like that would do nothing except make your fingers more vulnerable to injury.
Yes, it would. It would pulverize your hand.
Full count. Was that a walk? Hey, it's a leadoff. Well, for Murillo, it's a leadoff walk. And he now faces Benji Valdez. Let's see if Feaster can get to second, maybe do something with that.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Pickoff attempt. Feaster is back in plenty of time. Pickoff attempt again, and Feaster is back in plenty of time. Do you think it'll be another pickoff?
Yes.
Nope.
Ah.
And not even a throw. Lopez can't get rid of it, and Feaster is off. That is Feaster's 69th stolen base of the season.
Woo! Nice.
1-0 count to Benji Valdez. As that cutter misses high, man on second, 1 out. We have a crispy rispy. That fastball misses low, 2-0. Fastball misses low, 3-0.
Just get hit. That's all you need.
Gentleman strike right down the middle from Murillo. Benji Valdez does not go after it. He's been well trained. 3-1 count. This could be the ball game right here.
1 hit. That's all you need.
Or it could be a pitch right down the middle that you don't swing at. That could also be true. But it's a full count, so here comes another payoff pitch. Swung on, and you have got to be kidding me!
Did he get it?
He did! In a perfect mirror image of Benji's own catch a few innings ago.
Oh, no. We are cursed.
With 2 outs and a man on second, here comes Declan Milne, who is 0 for 3 on the day. Can he be the hero?
He better be.
As, let's see here, strike 1 on the cutter, 0-1. Oh, my God. Fastball gets pulled foul, 0-2. So, again, 1 more strike to wrap this up. Let's see if he gets it. He does not. He misses inside with a fastball, 1-2. Fouls that one off to stay in the at-bat. Right now, with Murillo so fresh, they do need to spend to get him to spend time throwing pitches. 1-2.
Okay.
Milne grounds down to first, and that will end the top of the eighth. So they'll get the walk and the
No!
steal, and that's it. Game remains scoreless. Ted will be back up, and hey, look at that. They can actually put in a pinch hitter because their guys aren't all spent, basically. We're going to bring Chet Hancock, whom I almost just called Het Hancock, and Big Cat Jatol. This is what I'm going to call them if they lose us the game.
Just mix their names around to insult them. Yeah.
Yeah, just spoonerize them like you would on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
Ted Balloon back out, 83 pitches over 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He will start out by facing pinch hitter Esteban Ibarra, number 21, hitting .274, OPS of .653, no home runs, 8 runs batted in.
It has the opportunity. No, I guess
To do the funniest thing ever. Fastball misses inside, 1-0. That's hit hard, and Valdez can't get to it. It'll be a leadoff base hit. But Vidal, I think, is going to manage to hold him to a single, so that's something. The go-ahead run is on base. Daniel Lopez comes up. He's 1 for 1 on the day, even though against righties during the season, he's hitting .155. Man on and no outs, and Ted now badly needs a double play. There's a pickoff attempt. Ibarra back to first. Goes for the bunt, but he pulls back when he realizes the changeup is going to miss. 1-0.
Can't tip your hand on a bunt. No, you can't.
Bunt down the third baseline. It's absolutely perfect.
Nice.
But it'll be a successful sacrifice hit. Bog throwing off his back foot to Feaster there. Look at this. Good defense, but nothing you can do when it's so well placed.
Yeah.
So a man on second with 1 out for Germán Narváez, the shortstop, who is over 3 as the rain finally begins to fall. Narváez checks his swing in time on the fastball, 1-0. But that forkball is right in there. Called strike, 1-1.
Let me ask you something, just as a philosophical.
So is that
question.
fastball, by the way. It's 1-2 now. Fire away.
If the game were to be rained out right now, would they call it at 0-0, or would they just give it a delay because there's no score?
They would delay it because there is no score.
Okay.
1-2 count. Changeup misses. Ball 2. Let's see if he wants to set up the strikeout here. As Narváez fouls that one off. Lets him know, nope, you're not getting away that easy. 2-2 count. Fouled off as well. If they're starting to see him well enough to foul him off repeatedly, we're in trouble. But not quite that well, because Balloon just got him on a changeup.
Nice.
And now hitting for the Navegadores, it is number 30, Daniel Rodriguez, currently hitting .257, OPS of .632, no home runs, 10 runs batted in. Let's see if Tech can work around this man on second with 2 outs. Daniel Rodriguez hitting 7 for 37 as a pinch hitter, which is somewhere under 200. As that changeup misses inside, 1-0. Rodriguez fouls that one off. Boy, that was a weird swing. Look at that. Fastball there. And he tipped it,
Whoa.
Hit it off the tip of the bat there. 1-1.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm. Misses low with a curveball, 2-1. That's also fouled off to make it 2-2. So Rodriguez is clearly interested in swinging. Let's see if Ted can leverage that. He's throwing a changeup. He's throwing a curveball, a couple fastballs. Let's see if he can... Not the worst idea in the world, but he did miss to make it a full count. So here we go with another payoff pitch. Got him! Back-to-back strikeouts. And Rodriguez strands the runner. We are through 8.
It's really down to the wire now.
It really is.
and the field's all wet, maybe we'll see some more errors starting to happen. Or any errors starting to happen, I suppose. Strange to see a
That
game with
foul
no
was
errors.
scary, yeah. And yes,
Hmm?
yes it is. Especially in July when the fielders start to get tired, that's when you start to see guys who don't normally butcher a lot of balls suddenly really like have trouble with it.
Hmm.
Okay. Just letting it. This is in some ways, honestly, and I know I sound like I'm just selling it for the sake of selling it, but in some ways this is the most exciting stream we've done in a while. Although last week's was also really exciting, so
Yeah. It is kind of deflating when you see how close each team gets at every half inning, and then it's just all for nothing.
mm-hmm. So that I also really like it because the reason that that's happening is the other team is playing incredible defense. So it's not just that they're running themselves out of it. That is definitely happening.
Yeah.
But also when they do get close, when the opportunities do show up, half the time, these guys just make an incredible grab.
Yeah, true.
So let's see if their luck runs out here. Juanetes Murillo is pitching. He's pitched 2 outs over 17 pitches plus a walk. He faces Graham Underwood, who is 0 for 3 on the day. Now standing in, let's see. Oh boy. Much better center fielder. Number 3, Miguel Lopez. And Esteban Ibarra will now be at third base, number 21.
Come on, Ham, be a hero. Now's the
Enrique Maravilla
time.
has moved to left now.
Mm.
Sinker misses low, 1-0. Swung on, and that is over the infield. He
All
hits it
right,
at the
here we
right
go.
field, and the go-ahead run will be on base. Now let's see if Salmeron can move him over before Underwood gets himself thrown out at second.
Calling it the go-ahead run is accurate but generous.
Indeed. Salmeron is 1 for 3 on the night. Let's see what Murillo does against him, as that was a nice little cutter that Underwood threw, as there's a pickoff attempt.
Of course
Underwood
he's
back
that
in
guy.
plenty of time.
Oh boy.
Underwood stealing
Yes,
second,
of
and
course,
he's
of course.
well ahead of that throw. That is
Nice.
his 47th steal of the season. The go-ahead run is now, well, the run is now in scoring position.
It's a lot of pressure on that run.
Yes, indeed. We're going to start warming up Varela just in case. 1-0 count.
Mm-hmm.
Salmeron right down the middle watches that fastball. And you ask me why I'm so mad at him.
Mm-hmm.
1-1 count. Swings on that one and fouls it off to make it 1-2. A fastball that time. 22 pitches now for Murillo. Let's see what he'll do here. Salmeron is not allergic to the strikeout, and he's only hitting 214 when he's behind in the count. So grounds that one out. Underwood will make it to third
Okay.
easily. So he'll be 90 feet
All right.
away with a 1 out. Maybe that'll be a productive out. We don't know yet.
Okay, all right.
Here comes Frank de Castillo, who does have 2 hits on the night. If he gets his third one here, and he's known for getting multiple hits, that should bring the run home.
Oh man, that would be so good.
Here goes nothing. Man on third, 1 out. Frank de Castillo at bat, as that fastball misses inside, 1-0. Murillo is, I'm certain, not going to try to give him anything to hit, as that is a massive
man.
pop-up into no man's land. It is caught by the shortstop, and he cannot move. That was an attempt at a sacrifice fly. He didn't get quite enough distance on it.
Yeah.
So here
But
goes.
here's someone else who's been on base this game.
Yep, fair enough. Shirley, he's 1 for 2 with a walk or 2. Man on third and 2 outs. Here goes
Did they all
nothing.
just move back? Was that
I think they just
trick
kind of
of the
like
game?
flashed
Okay.
the animations. Shirley, first pitch, hits it to Narvaez. Narvaez throws to first, and the inning is over. That's why you don't swing at the first pitch.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Unbelievable.
Ah.
We're going to leave Chad Hancock up in the bullpen, and Ted Balloon will now face Benavides, Derek, and Ortiz. Ted Balloon is through 8 innings on exactly 100 pitches, so he should be okay. Yeah, Louis, a good point. Philly says, get that ad read ready. Um, 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and he will face Pablo Benavides, who is over 3 on the day. As Benavides cracks that one, it's up the middle, and once again, the run will be on base, as Sherlock couldn't quite smother that one. Here comes Vernon Derrick, who is 0 for 3 on the day with a man on first and no outs. He goes for the bunt. Ted has it. Can he throw out the lead runner? He cannot, but he goes to first. So it'll be a man on second with 1 out. They've done it before. They can do it again.
Okay.
Benavides on second, 1 out. Americo Ortiz, 0 for 3 on the day. Even though in July he is hitting 400 somehow, even though he hasn't gotten a hit today. And he was hitting 368 earlier.
Oh, pretty good.
Well, yeah, but his hitting has improved in July, despite the fact that we are in July, and he hasn't gotten a hit today.
Suspicious. Are they juicing his numbers somehow?
I just don't think they know what to do. Forkball is low, but it's called a strike, 0-1. He swings right through a changeup, 0-2. Let's see if Ted can do it again. Oh, come on. That was a strike.
Yeah.
1-2 count. Doesn't matter. He got him on the curveball in the next one. Drops the hammer on him, and that's out number 2. Here comes pinch hitting for the Valencianos. Number 18, Filostrato Luna. He's hitting 244, OPS of 617, no home runs, 27 runs batted in. Oh no. Swings on that one, hits it through Feaster's legs. It's going to be up to Frank. He's got it.
Oh, man.
Is he going to make that throw in plenty of time? He is not. And he's safe. The Valencianos win this game on a walk-off RBI pinch hit single.
Oh my god! You know, I think the Nuggets just wanted it to be over. I get that feeling.
By the way, before we move on to end the game, can we talk about the font on these uniforms, which I really like?
I can barely see it, but it's very good. We got a serif on there.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Not a whole lot of serifs in uniform numbers. Aye. Ted takes his 3rd loss of the season. In a game like that, let's be honest, he tried to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, he really did.
He actually wins player of the game because he did pitch the full game, basically, even if he took the loss.
That's impressive for a team that didn't win.
Yeah, 7 strikeouts, a walk, earned run. I mean, he did better as a pitcher than Gutierrez did. He lasted deeper into the game, faced more batters. He actually did okay. He didn't hit anybody, didn't have a wild pitch.
That's true. He didn't hit anybody, and we were so down on him about that. You're right.
Indeed. And really, all that happened here is we just didn't get the bats we needed. Declan Milne didn't do a damn thing. Yeah. really putting me in Eeyore territory as far as his hitting is going.
Oh man.
Can you imagine Eeyore at a ball game? Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, Eeyore would have predicted some of the moves the way we did tonight. We were very pessimistic sometimes.
Ball gets hit and he's just, it's gonna get caught.
Yeah, that one's foul.
That one's also foul. He won't get the throw off in time. And he did it. Depending on Frank de Castillo. And that's the weird bit, actually, because Frank de Castillo's arm has been pretty good this year, though I don't think he's thrown anybody at home out yet.
That's what I'm saying. They wanted the game to end. He was just like, I give up.
I mean, can you blame them?
No, I can't blame them.
Exactly. I would also like to note that the Juncos manager is named Roberto Calvo, which if you translate it into English is Robert the Bald.
Nice.
Very good. Hi. Well, I can't say that this was a bad game.
Yeah.
A lot of great fielding. We got to talk about some good stuff, cooking, umpires, everything. And we got out in under 3 hours, which I was very worried that it was going to take that long or plus that.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm really impressed with the quality of the defense, the running game from the Naves.
That game really could have broken either way pretty much the whole time.
Yes, it could have. And I'm actually very amazed at this pitching duel, and Gutierrez distinguishing himself so well, holding off a far superior lineup and preventing the sweep. Because if the Naves win this game, they've swept the Valencianos for the season.
Oh, okay.
So this makes it a
So yeah,
3-1 split.
nice.
It's great
Dignified.
stuff. Very
Mm-hmm.
dignified. Yeah, there's nothing else to say. So, what do you have any final thoughts before we let him go, Louisa?
Just that it was a very exciting game. Sometimes 0-0 is super frustrating, and this one was frustrating, but I really did enjoy it.
Yes, I really like this game. I'm very glad that we got to do this. I think I said this last season as well, but after last year, after well, yeah, last year at this point, after a long hiatus, we had to take several weeks. That was partly caused by the game crashing, and every time that happens, it's extremely disheartening. It makes me never want to play another simulation of this again.
Hmm.
But I was very happy to get back to it. We had a really exciting game. We've had another really exciting game. This team, man, they play some really exciting baseball. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. Sometimes the exciting baseball is caused by their pitcher just completely melting down on the mound, and
Uh-huh.
sometimes the exciting baseball is goes like seven and a third innings into a no hitter.
Yeah.
It's we've had so many great times with them, no matter what the final result is.
Hmm.
And we hope to have more of those fun. Well, actually, next week we're probably gonna have the All Star game and the Bucherones that I kind of got. Some combination of that and the trading deadline needs to happen. So we'll see how that goes. You're probably not going to see Ted Balloon at that game, unfortunately, because he just hasn't been that good this year.
Hmm.
But it should be exciting nonetheless. And after that, we'll get back to our beloved Navegadores. Maybe we'll even fit in a minor league game somewhere in there.
Nice.
But until then, this has been, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en Vivo. Gente, buenas noches, gracias mil y Dios les bendiga.